And we are live again, WrestlePurists Podcast, episode 108, hosted by myself, Big AO, Charlie, and Joe Hulbert. We're going to do our usual Thursday tradition of reviewing AEW Dynamite, and also we're going to get into a few new subjects as well, including Bryan Danielson's apparently handing out fines for social media activity. Andrade may or may not be looking to head over to WWE. He's taking some precautions, reportedly, just in case. What else have we got? Deonna Purrazzo. Apparently she's going into free agency. We've got a few things to get into, but first things first, please like, subscribe, send any super chats with any questions, any takes, anything like that. We'll get them read out. Please turn on post notifications. Hope everyone's doing good. Sorry, my fellow co-hosts. Big AO, you're back this week. How's it going?
The feeling is being slowly but surely restored in the company I love. I personally got QT Marshall up out of here. And you see the change that's going on, brother. You see the change. Escorted him to the door. You know, there's no QTV nonsense. The sports entertainment is to a minimum. We had a very unfortunate Samoa Joe segment last night, but we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, it was good Dynamite. Good Dynamite. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good show, man. It was a good show. Charlie, how you doing over there?
Doing okay. I didn't watch Dynamite live. I was asleep. I'd had a long day yesterday, but I watched the show today, and it was a good time. It's a lot more fun watching shows sometimes when you're not trying to keep up with Twitter at the same time. But yeah, just had a chill day today. Went and saw some friends, but I'm ready for the review now. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it, of course. And Hulbert, last but not least, how's it going?
Good, mate. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The streak continues. I am indeed taking full credit for AEW's revival as we continue on here into a new era, right? The Hulbert era, I think Shivani called it last night. So thrilled to be back. So lots of good wrestling to talk about. A couple bad things to talk about, but we'll navigate those without getting any trouble and get on out of here safely.
Even when AEW Dynamite's good, it's always going to have like a little something sprinkled in there.
That's wrestling had got
worth a discussion to say that.
Yeah, that's wrestling should be that way, you know. Now, if wrestling's ever like pristine or flawless, it's over. It's finished. Needs to be a little bit of shit in there that makes you question why you watch. So we continue as we were.
Yeah, man. Let's dive straight into some super chats. Let's do that. Keep them coming, of course. Appreciate them always. Karan, 400 rupees. Appreciate you, as always. I love Mox and was looking forward to this Roosh match, but they seem to have anti-chemistry, unfortunately. Mark Swerve was unreal, though. Christian Edge added to the 2023 catalogue of older wrestler matches being awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to get, of course, like I said, we're going to get into AEW Dynamite. Got a lot to say about all of those, really. Willie, 499, appreciate you as always. Who robbed Tony Khan more? The Bucks quitting after signing NBA level contracts, or Adam new era of AEW Copeland, who's never tangibly impacted business? I mean, I like seeing wrestlers paid, brother. You know, I like seeing them get paid. Wrestlers have been they were grossly underpaid, like back in the day, and then WCW and WWE going back and forth helped it a bit. And now AEW and WWE going back and forth has helped it a bit. And, you know, some people are getting them big contracts.
My fucking goat's pockets.
Stop pocket
watching.
I
never told you about me keeping, bro. Keep your eyes on your own pockets. All I know is it's not a tag team on earth that wants to go band for band with the Young Bucks. All I fucking know.
Prasad, 40 rupees, appreciate it as always. Which NXT stars the Triple H most losing to AEW? We spoke about this a little bit yesterday. I don't think that's where AEW is looking, really, you know. I'm sure they would, like, you know, if Ilya decided to go into free agency and really, like, you know, test the waters in that sense, I'm sure that would kind of grab their interest a bit, but I don't think they're looking at, you know, NXT contracts that are coming.
The question is talent that has gone. Yeah.
It's, which one's
oh, okay.
I would say Andrade, to be honest.
I would say Andrade.
Oh, backup Hangman, you know, who has, you know, a good amount of connections at WWE. He says that Triple H consistently tries about not having Swerve Strickland anymore. So.
Well.
Well, we all know Swerve loves him, so.
Bro, he's called him everything but like a piece of shit publicly.
Ibu, backup hangman, whatever you want to call him, Ibrahim and Yang, 499. Appreciate you. Currently stealing the white man's bag at work. Dynamite has been a functional wrestling program for 2 weeks. Colt versus Cage was very good before that ending. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'll agree. Thanks for the 499. Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate you. With news on Deanna, what do you think she does? Which best pal does she choose, Chelsea or Britt?
She's 100% going to WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's all entertainment, brother.
I don't know. I've been doing the Deanna to AEW thing for a while. Someone that's on the screen right now was very dismissive of me for that. Not going to name who. He's convinced about total non-stop action securing that signature. But enough about Monty. I just think the Triple H Deanna thing was like not a. She's had her own comments on that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do not like each other. Well, she really doesn't like him, and I don't think he thinks a whole lot about her. But
right.
Hey, man, once you get that WWE look, you can sell pictures online for the rest of your life.
Real.
You're
Absolutely.
a woman.
Yeah. Be interesting. I don't know. I'm going to stick with my prior guess, even though I think there is good reason to assume it's WWE.
Not a very big fan of the virtuoso. I can't lie, bro.
I like her. I do appreciate her.
I do respect her for carrying herself like a star, though. But
yeah.
Bell rings.
What a ring? So what classes as a ring?
Bell rings.
Bam. $2. Appreciate it. Monty, Booker of the Decade, Joe, Charlie, and CEO AO. Yeah, man, we got quite the lineup. We're treating us. Ibu just giving us all these money straight up, Respect, bro. Respect. All-star lineup. Dynamite stops sucking, and all of a sudden, Joe and AO make the Thursday Towns not sleep.
Hold on. That implies that us being on the show isn't the reason the show's good, which is a complete. I mean, that's ridiculous. This is a plan. It's a rebuild, right?
We're building this thing up from the bottom. You feel me? Me and Joe, we're doing a lot of long hours in the Jacksonville offices, putting these shows together, and I think that we deserve to reap some reward. You feel me?
Absolutely. You're doing local media too.
On the BTE PTO schedule. Yo, I do fucking live stream, bro. Like I'm there every watch along, putting in the real gritty hours, bro. Like it's a thankless job doing the Twitch work. Somebody's got to do it.
He's a good worker. If you don't understand. Mazfan 84189 appreciate it. Who in WrestlePurists would catch most fines from social media?
Chris.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, if we're just going off being a freak, it's evil.
Oh, man. Chris, Ibu, IO. I don't know, man. There's definitely a few contenders, though,
Mm-hmm.
Don't know who would get to hand out the phones, though. We haven't quite got a Bryan Danielson, Jamie.
I hadn't noticed. Poor Jamie. Get a DM from Jamie. Boss man sent me. What did I do now?
Phantom FTW £4 appreciate. Is it true that Bryan gave Danhausen so many fines for his social media conduct he had to start bootlegging his own merch just to pay them off? I don't think so.
Bootlegging merchandise is crazy. I hope he wasn't doing that.
That's such a layered super chat. You need to know so much background for that.
Super chats are a good time, Short-time Spurs with $5. Appreciate him as always. I'm really enjoying the Continental Classic. Then again, I can do math. That was a weird discourse earlier in the week when people were just completely blown away by a round robin.
Dude, it got topped today.
So funny.
Because someone was like, Why would Mark Briscoe continue to wrestle? He's out.
Yeah, it's all
That was insane.
I was like, do you guys not watch sports? Like, do you have?
The craziest thing about that is because they've kept saying on commentary, right, they're going to wrestle even when they're eliminated. And my dad was like, why do they have to say that? Like, of course they're going to wrestle. The matches can't just not happen. And I was like, trust me, they need to say it. Everything they say, they need to say that and more, bro. People are confused. I went on Twitter immediately afterwards and someone was like, Mark's going to keep going? What is he, a lunatic? He's out already. Go home. It's like, it's a tournament. My goodness, you can't do anything.
Imagine if in sports, when the team's like statistically eliminated from the playoffs, they just quit. They just give up on the rest of the season. Like the Charlotte Hornets, 20 games into the year, they're like, all right, we gave it a go this year, y'all. It's over.
You know what? Sometimes I do wish Chelsea would do that. So,
yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's an idea. Will Chisholm, $4. Appreciate you as always. It felt like the only wrestlers that got paid back then was Hall and Nash Long. I mean, they definitely they worked it out, brother. You know, they worked it out.
Go band for band with the Young Bucks.
Shout out Spurs, $4. Appreciate you as always. Having these MJF Devil segments down to 3 to 5 minutes is much more palatable than the 20-minute slogs we had before.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Will Chisholm, $4. Appreciate you as always. At some point, Triple H can't sign all of the good women. He does have a roster, though. I mean, yeah, that's an issue.
He can't sign all the good women, but we're talking about the virtuoso here. So
this just gets slanderous now. You know, it's all right. She's good, man. You know, she does limb work. You know, I know you hate it. I know Mayo hates limb work. You know.
Yeah.
oh,
I think I've
I
only
don't
ever
think
liked
she doesn't really do flips or anything. You know. It's not.
brother, she does do flips. She does a moonsault all the time. Watch her wrestle, man. You work. She does a moonsault all the time.
No, but I mean, like, she don't really do, like, you know, the AO specials, you know? She's not.
The AO special.
Try to label me a flips merchant when I fought you for that mock should be 2022 Wrestle of the Year? No, 2021 Wrestle of the Year is crazy. You
do scream, do a flip nigga at like every wrestler that doesn't do a flip. There is evidence of this. I think there was evidence of this last night. So, you know.
That was different.
Yeah, but case by case, you know. Anyway, Yuzura Hart, $10. Appreciate it. The secret to Dynamite is just utilizing the roster to put 1 to 3 stars in literally every segment. Yes, sometimes you need to have Tony Nese go 8 and lose clean, but that's a once an episode thing. What do you think, John?
Yeah, absolutely. The tournament has kind of forced their hand to show us a style of Dynamite that we've wanted for a long time. Right, I agree completely. The roster has enough depth for a guy like Roosh to just lose a match. To be fair, Roosh is a bad example because he's a guy who's played that role, quite a bit. But last week, Jay White and Swerve. Did anyone see Jay White as less of them for getting rolled up by Swerve last week? No, of course they didn't. So I think there's a lesson to be learned. Obviously, you're not going to have the exact same formatting beyond the tournament. But that formula that's mentioned here in this super chat is absolutely something you can still keep. We want to see the best talent, right? Like Dynamite, especially when you have free TV shows, Dynamite is where you really make sure the guys that are getting featured, guys and girls getting featured, are the top talent. So I think that's been kind of a huge plus the last couple of weeks.
It's definitely helped. It's definitely helped. Like you said, they've got the roster for it, man. So use it. Jonathan Gomez, 199, appreciate you. AO had a bigger return than CM Punk, I fear. It's big business. It's big business.
Many people are saying this.
They are. Izora, Hart, $5, appreciate you. Ibu tweeted, I'm leaking on main Monty. I need WrestlePurists to have fines too, in the thousands if possible.
Why did he tweet that?
Because of the Swerve. No, because of the Hangman MJF interaction and Samoa Joe. He just tweeted in all caps, I'm leaking.
That feels excessive, really.
Like a pervert.
Yeah. He does get weird sometimes,
Yeah.
He just, yeah. You might have to look into this fine business, you know. Might
Mm.
be able to, raise the budgets at WrestlePurists off the fines of the talent, you know. All right, let's what should we start with? Should we start with news or shall we start with Dynamite review?
Let's ignite. Let's do it.
It's like the fuse.
It's like the fuse. Whatever the fuck it is they say. Let's do it. Boom. Right? Let's get on. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. You know the deal. Come on, let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it, you know. Let's light the fuse. AEW Dynamite live from Montreal last night, and it opened up with Jon Moxley versus Roosh. And, although we were saying everything was good about Dynamite, I didn't really enjoy this that much. It kind of underwhelmed me in terms of what I was expecting. They never seemed to be, like, perfectly on the same page throughout. Although, like, overall, there was some good stuff in it. You know, and it wasn't a bad match by any means whatsoever. You know, they just weren't quite in sync the way I would have wanted them to be. Am I crazy, Joe?
I liked it quite a bit more than you, but I totally see what you're kind of talking about. So I don't think you're crazy necessarily. I just think the issues of the match and the kind of roughness around the edges affected you more than it did me. I definitely think there was some clunky moments. And it felt at times like they struggled to move beyond just the kind of raw dynamic of them just whacking each other. You know, like it would kind of go back to that. But honestly, the beauty of this matchup is even if this is one of the kind of worst versions of this pairing, they still did whack each other an awful lot, didn't they? So I liked the match, even though I get your complaints. And to be fair, did think it was much worse than their last AEW match. And I think they can do way better, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely, because it's like, the last match was really good. And you kind of expected them to be, if anything, I was expecting better, you know? And this one, it just didn't it clicked the way I wanted it to. Although it was still good, but high expectations for Mox and Roosh. Right. Charlie, where are you at?
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like anything special. It was just an opening Dynamite match. Like, out of like all the tournament matches, any match that's not been a Jay Lethal match, this is like the most forgettable to me. Nothing against Jay Lethal, I just think he's a very boring wrestler. So, but this is the one that just doesn't stand out as something that's been quite impactful on the shows. So, yeah, if they do have another match in the future, I hope it hits a bit more. But I enjoyed it for what it was. So.
Do we think Roosh is actually struggling with his leg, or is that like just a storyline?
Yeah, it takes
for the tournament.
Bad.
Yeah, and he looked to me like, and again, you never know if he's selling. If he is selling, what an incredible bit that he can sell that way. Yeah, you know, like, but yeah, I don't know. He looked a little bit gingerly at times, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. Well, I tend to agree.
There's still quite a lot to enjoy.
Chat. I think I fixed my mic. Y'all been crying all show. Let me know if it's better now. But I hear you people slandering Jon Moxley and Roosh. Joe, I'm sorry Roosh didn't go out there and do a 630 splash. Monty, I'm sorry you didn't see a Phoenix splash out there.
Yeah.
You British flip merchants. This was good, hard-hitting wrestling. When I seen Jon Moxley hit that Larry, oh my God, I stood up in my seat.
That was good.
That was gorgeous.
Sweet, yeah.
That was probably like my highlight of the match.
No, but in all seriousness, I saw people whose opinions that I like take seriously. They're not like bad faith, like fucking weirdos or whatever. They weren't high on the matches. I don't know, bro. I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with the match. I don't know what people's issue with it was, but they definitely did have a better match in them. But I didn't walk away from that feeling disappointed.
Yeah, I just I was looking for that 630, and I think once he does bring it out, I'll find it better go over 3. You know me, I'm big on that stuff, right? Like I sit there with the checkboard and like, here's what it is, man. It's just we all watch wrestling differently, right?
It did pop me how Mox wins with the rear naked choke, and then Roosh gets choked out, and then immediately after just jumps up complaining at the referee. You know,
I thought that was pretty cool, honestly, legitimately.
Yeah,
the way they explained it. Yeah, I don't know if they clued in. Taz, was it Taz and Tony that Excalibur was the one that explained what they were going for, right? I think because he was saying like the music. I think it was Excalibur that said the music was what kind of because that happens in MMA all the time. Guys will wake
Yeah,
up.
someone
and
gets
like, what are you
choked
for?
out, and they wake up immediately, and they're like, no, I wasn't out. But you never see that in wrestling. So people are like, you piece of shit, how dare you no sell Mox's bulldog choke.
And Moxley he's always influenced by MMA. Like, he always uses that stuff. So that's immediately what I thought they were going for. I just don't know if Taz and Tony were clued in on that being the idea, because it did look funny. It was very Roosh, you know.
Yeah, just popped straight back up.
Yeah.
Did you see his tweet about it as well? He was just like, the ref didn't even check my arm. I was not knocked out. It was so funny.
Tremendous.
He's a real worker, man. He's a real worker. But yeah, nice match to start. Also, but like I said, I was kind of expecting something maybe not epic, but you know, high expectations, brother. You know, good match nonetheless. Though, good match, and another 3 points to John Moxley. What we got next? Next up, we had a Jay Lethal, Jay White promo, and then we had Roddy and the Kingdom out on the ramp with Renee. It was quite a brutal promo, to be honest, by poor Roddy. But at the end of it, he ditches the wheelchair. So I'm taking my victories where I can with Roderick Strong, you know, because you have to these days. Wheelchair.
They said Holbert fell to his knees, bro. He was loving the wheelchair gimmick. He was loving it. He was living it. He couldn't wait to see Hot Rod roll out onto the ramp every week with the wheelchair. When he threw that wheelchair off the ramp, I was just like, oh my God, somebody please call Holbert. Make sure he's okay.
I got to ask you guys, can I still vote for it for best gimmick, or do you think, like, is it still... It's still
the nominee list.
Yeah. Oh. You know, I was devastated. There's such range to this gimmick he's been doing, you know, and it just gets me every time, the way he yells names. So I'm going to be really upset to see him wrestling matches again, especially the Hangman match, right? Who could possibly be excited about that? It's not like that's going to be incredible, right? No, but seriously, this was a segment worth doing to get where we ended up, because that match is going to be... Because you saw in the tournament, when Roddy was wrestling, even with the gimmick, he was still going nuts, because he only knows one way, right? So now that the gimmick is he's moving beyond that, he's going to bring it, and the physicality next week is going to be pretty special. So I'm happy with the direction here.
Me too.
Yeah. We all happy that Roddy's ditched the wheelchair, Charlie?
Yes, thank God. Can he ditch the yelling next? Because I'm so tired of it. Please just let Roddy be Roddy. I don't need all this extra shit to go with it. I just want him to wrestle.
I just want him to be a boring dude who fucking chops.
Yeah,
people,
man.
you know?
I just want him to be an average white guy that gets in the ring and is a fucking beast. I don't need him to have a stupid gimmick.
Yeah, hopefully they start wrapping it up and he can...
Honestly, my only issue with the gimmick was that he just wasn't allowed to wrestle. Like, if he... it did wear a thing, but if he was wrestling this whole time, if he was wrestling every other week, I would have been fine with it. But they're just like, you're gonna be this annoying crybaby, and you can't wrestle.
See, I didn't have an issue until the crowd started picking up on the yelling of Adam. And now it happens like whenever anyone called Adam is on screen. And they have too many Adams in the company for me to be able to handle this. So I'm very over the gimmick.
We may have to leave Adam Cole off TV for a little bit to let people forget, you know?
It's like we've got Adam Copeland, Adam Cole, and Hangman Adam Page. It's like we can't have any of them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very unfortunate. But...
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. Like I said, the promo as well from Roddy was
brutal.
It's great.
He's not, you know, he is not Roddy Piper, folks. This is breaking news here in 2023. I mean, it is what it is. He's like, honestly, he's been better. Make that what you will, but we'll leave it there.
I think this is just indictment of the promo classes in the PC, which we will be having a deeper dive on later in the podcast.
We will. Oh, great.
Wonderful. I look forward to it.
This was a good bit of business coming up though. Backstage interview with Hangman Adam Page is then interrupted by MJF. The two kind of go back and forth. Hangman tries to be the bigger man and walk away, but MJF can't resist, you know, and he says something under his breath about him being boring or something like that. And then Hangman's like, really? We're doing this? You know? We're really doing this right now? The two go back and forth some more. It starts getting heated and more heated. And then Samoa Joe, out of nowhere, the real enforcer of AEW, splits it up, tells Max that he's got better things to be worrying about right now. etc., etc. And there's quite a few things teased here, quite a few things to get excited about, I guess. But yeah, more people added to the MJF first, it seems. But yeah, nonetheless, he is the world champion, so you can definitely make sense of it somehow, And yeah, Hangman, MJF, some Samoa Joe in the picture as well. Few ways this could go, Ayo.
I think the best news of this, I think somebody's finally telling MJF no in AEW, which thank fucking God. But yeah, there's a few ways it could go. Hangman went out there. He said, Swerve, I know what you want most in AEW, obviously alluding to the World Championship. Because I'm not gonna let you get it. So that was alluding to a future world title feud between those two. And then MJF pulls up. They have their little promo battle. They recall their history. They talk about the Dynamite Diamond Ring, all that stuff, and teasing a match between them two. And then Samoa Joe comes up and he's like, is there a problem here? Teasing a match between Hangman and Joe. These are all things I would love to see, bro. All things I would love to see. Much more than Devil Ninjas and whatnot.
Oh, we'll get to the ninjas. But yeah, Charlie, Hangman,
Yes.
MJF, Samoa Joe, Swerve mentioned Hangman's not done with him either. So there's a lot here, Charlie, for you to get excited about.
There is. I was happy to see Hangman, and then they're throwing him straight back into the title picture, or at least in the orbit of it seems. I have a theory that they feel like who the devil is got way too obvious, so they're just throwing more people in to try and keep people on their toes. But Hangman being a choice for it, I'm not upset about it. So, but yeah, a lot to get excited about. I feel like him and MJF could probably have a really good match as long as it's not overbooked bullshit. But we'll see,
folks. Charlie, I'm very sorry. I hate to interrupt you, but I believe we have news regarding a match at Final Battle. I believe we have news. It appears they are doing Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR and Mark Briscoe at Final Battle. It appears that is happening. Dax did a tweet earlier about wanting to do the Briscoes. It's a special occasion. It was their last match last year. It was the first. It appears, based on the one person who's currently watching Ring of Honor, which is my friend Matt, that is being announced for Final Battle. So I apologize, Charlie. But that's, I mean, we're
can you please save this nice chicken farmer, this nice father, son, brother, Mark Briscoe, away from these two thugs? Like, why does he keep getting paired with these criminals, bro? What is going on? But good. They finally booked the series match. Let's sell some tickets. The sitting at about 1K right now. I was looking at the Final Battle card and I saw that they announced Ethan Page and Tony Nese contract signing tonight for Honor Club. So I wasn't sure if that was really gonna, get the rest of the 2K people in the building. But yeah, Blackpool Combat Club and Mark Briscoe in there is a good start. It's unfortunate about the other two.
Hate it till the end,
So
yeah, Joe, back to Dynamite, of course. Back to Dynamite, of course. There was a lot of layers with this backstage segment, wasn't there?
There was indeed. The segment itself was terrific, right? And Hangman, I thought, had a really refreshing energy. Hangman sometimes, for me, is like he's either down on his luck or he's super fired up. And I've always wanted him to find like a middle ground to go with those. And I thought this was it here. I thought he was great. Good stuff. Definitely had a moment to myself there when I heard them talk about Double or Nothing 2019 and realized that is in fact 4.5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Life's tough. So really good segment, but you both touched on it, like all three of you did. It's interesting the direction here, right? This felt very purposeful, and with what happens to Max later, maybe it's just a one-off thing to create some doubt about the devil. But I don't know. It's because not only did it include Hangman, but he mentioned Swerve first.
Yeah.
So it all kind of it left me wondering as to the direction, honestly. So I mean, that's the ideal segment, right? It was entertaining and it left me intrigued as to what's next. Like that's really good stuff. So I like this a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot to
like for the future.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, like Hangman accused he accused Hangman. No, MJF accused Hangman of being a devil. What else? Anything else that I missed from the on that segment. I don't think there was. But yeah, like I said, there was a lot of layers there, a lot of things for people to get excited about. New people in the MJF first, but you know, we'll keep it moving. Next up, Continental Classic, back in the Gold League, and we have Swerve Strickland getting 3 points against Mark Briscoe, which was a really, really good match. Mark Briscoe, in my opinion, has been he's been tremendous in this. You know, I know I'm not going to get my wish of him winning the tournament. You know, currently sitting on 0 points. You know, we're sitting on 0 points at the moment. It's not looking too promising. But his performances have been spectacular, and in my opinion, I think he's probably had the best Gold League match every week so far. So I really enjoyed this as well. Swerve looked great. Mark just keeps on delivering, doesn't he, Joe?
He does, yeah. I co-sign completely. Mark is at my favourite match each week on Wednesday, and I thought this was the best match of this block thus far. I actually thought it run the Danielson King match pretty damn close too. This was tremendous. That first section, they worked around the headlock. The way the announcers push the idea that Mark is wrestling more cautiously because of how much is on the line. I mean, they're the great. I love those elements to tournament wrestling because they're stories you can specifically tell in this context. The way it built, the way that Swerve was able to actually be the heel in this match, and because he was smart enough to adjust, and he was wrestling Mark Briscoe, the crowd actually embraced that shape of the match too. Like, because Swerve's getting really over, and his first 2 matches were against heels, so he was really the babyface. Yeah. The way he adjusted back here to being the heel in this match, I thought was tremendous. You know, we've said it every week with Mark Briscoe. It's like skill for skill, talent for talent. Like, that dude, do not take him for granted as to what he can do as a singles wrestler for the rest of his time in AEW and beyond, because he's special. So, great match. I love what this tournament has done for Swerve in terms of keeping him on the TV in big matches, right? And that's saying that we always talk about momentum with AEW. There's kind of like a happy accident they've got with this tournament. Swerve is in the ball game every week. He's in the picture. So, whole thing is a huge positive. I love the match.
Yeah, winning matches that actually mean something as well. It's probably one of the best jobs they've done of like someone who has like a good momentum going, and then they top it off with a huge pay-per-view match or like having a huge moment on pay-per-view. Like you just mentioned, like AEW sometimes they have been criticised for how they follow up on things like this. This example of the Continental Classic with Swerve getting these wins that actually mean something week to week and keeping in the picture. It's been one of the best examples of them following up on someone having a big moment. But yeah, man, Charlie, Swerve, Briscoe, good stuff.
I love this match. I think this is my favourite match of the tournament so far. So I watched Eddie Bryan today as well, and obviously that match was incredible. But there was just something about this match. It felt special on the Swerve Mark Briscoe one. I think Mark's my MVP for the tournament so far. He's just been fucking incredible, like, every week. And yeah, I really like this, and I honestly hope they wrestle again in the future because they had really good chemistry together. So yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, man, good stuff. Ayo, another good performance from Swerve.
He's just cranking them out now, brother. I know I'm the Swerve guy on the channel or whatever, or I'm purist like the Swerve guys or whatever. But I feel like this is the best match of the tournament because like Eddie and Bryan was incredible, but like you see like Swerve is really like building towards something, and like every week he's getting closer to something, whether it be the Triple Crown, which he's probably not going to win, but the AEW World Championship, which he's definitely going to win eventually in the future. So seeing somebody rise like that, like naturally too, like because like the company, like I'm not saying AEW like left him for dead, but it's not like the company like signed him and was like, yes, this guy's 100% a future world champion. So you really got to see him like go from like a tag guy or just somebody who's supposed to have like nice matches in the mid-carder to a bona fide main eventer, having the matches of the week on Dynamite all the time. Well, you guys said you guys like the Mike Briscoe matches more, but you know, it's up for debate. I like Swerve versus Jay White more than the Briscoe match last week, but I can't pour over Mark Briscoe enough. I said it on stream yesterday. Some people got mad at me. Mark Briscoe's 2023 kicks the shit out of Jay White's 2023, bro. Like it just does, bro. Like, and I never thought I'd be saying that, but I really like Mark. Obviously, really like Swerve. They need to keep like when this tournament is over, Mark needs to be a regular player on AEW. There's 5 hours of television every week. There's no reason why we should go months without seeing Mark Briscoe. He shouldn't be relegated to Honor Club. Like, man, I just hope that, you know, and he's getting great reactions too. Like in the beginning of the match, like Joe touched on it, but in the beginning of the match, Swerve was getting cheered a little way too hard. They just started spitting on Mark Briscoe, and the crowd was like, "Oh yeah, we love Mark. Like, what are you doing to him?" And then then the heel face dynamic was able to be like properly established from there, and then it was a great match. Man. It was a great match.
Yeah, really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. And
Swerve,
another. Go on.
Sorry, mate. I was just going to Swerve gives you. He's a good challenge in that way in terms of booking because you need to actually do a good job with your babyface because you don't want to turn Swerve. He's a great heel. So therefore, you have to actually make sure you're giving the baby faces a reason for people to get behind them. And I think that may help if indeed he's going to be in this title orbit here sooner than later.
100%.
Carry on as you were, Money.
I was just going to say another 3 points of Swerve, undefeated, just like John Moxley, who they're going to be facing each other next week. You know, Dallas, Texas. They came face to face at some point during this show. I've got it noted down anyway. But yeah, Hangman. No, not Hangman. Swerve versus Moxley next week. That's definitely another one. Someone's always got to go, Joe Hulbert.
Yeah, and to the whole conversation we just had, it says a lot about how quickly Swerve has made up ground from kind of upper mid-card potential to he's an actual top guy because when he walked into this scene, it was like, oh, this is a big one. And as much as we all can rate Swerve, or not in some cases, 4 months ago, this would not have been a big match. This would be a match for Moxley to win on TV, you know? So, like...
Yeah, it's just like doing it on TV. People on Twitter would have got excited because they know Swerve can go. And Mox is obviously Mox, but now it's two bona fide huge stars in the company head to head.
It's an example of how sometimes with guys, it can kind of feel like it happens overnight, even though it's the opposite, right? Swerve's been wrestling for years. He'd been in AEW since, I think, February or maybe March 2022, maybe. And it's like he was kind of, so he was kind of like waiting, and then all of a sudden, boom, it feels like he's there. You know, it's like that one feud changed it for him, and it doesn't seem like he's going to be looking back. So very exciting.
Definitely. I'm going to take a quick pause to do some super chats. Ivan Sanchez, $5. Appreciate it. Devil Faction will be the Kingdom plus Undisputed Era plus Wardlow minus Roddy. Roddy is 2 over, and he will be MJF's new best friend for life. Best friend forever, BFF.
I'd say you're cooking there a little bit, just a little bit.
There's some truth there, I think.
There's some ingredients. You know. Masson 84 199, appreciate it. Tony Khan, book Loki versus Rush at Final Battle, and it will sell.
Fuck. I would. My goodness, could you imagine?
Do you think Tony Khan's definitely considered a bit of Loki? Somewhere, I think. Do you think he's terrified of him?
Unfortunately, you just can't. You can't trust Loki, bro.
You can't.
It's unfortunate.
The fact that they
but you can't trust Loki.
Which WrestleCon was it? Was it last year or the year before when he tried to jump? When he tried to jump the rail?
It was not this Mania week, but last
year
before.
The fact that when they bought Ring of Honor, they just kept saying a triple threat without mentioning the third man who won the thing tells you a lot about. They gave him the Benny treatment, bro. That's pretty crazy, but you know, nonetheless,
the Benny is not even like he's like a criminal.
No,
like he's not.
He's just like
he's just an asshole. He's just a dickhead, bro.
It's kind of based, honestly.
Okay, man.
It's sad, bro. Loki should be a millionaire, bro. But he got his own way.
Dunman's $5, appreciate it. I'm thinking Big Mark Briscoe has earned himself a regular place on TV after this tournament is over. Absolutely, as we were just mentioning, 100%. Brian Buster, $4.99. Appreciate it as always. Was at FTR versus Briscoe's 1 and 2. Going to Final Battle, and that Jay Briscoe tribute match is going to have me in tears. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. 100%.
Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Forever and ever. That's hold on. Andrew the Giant, £2. Appreciate it. Ziggler versus Loki rematch can happen now.
I didn't know that match happened.
Yeah. Oh, it's famous for something.
He nearly knocked Ziggler out. Yeah.
Knocked him silly. It's
Yeah.
Oh
crazy.
dear. Oh, maybe I've seen the clip actually. Maybe I just didn't realise who it was.
Didn't realise it
He's
was
one of
him.
the few
Yeah.
WWE guys that Key didn't bury, so there's actually genuinely a chance they try to book him for Red's promotion. What's Red's promotion called? House of Glory?
House of Glory.
Yeah.
They may try, I mean, they do some weird shit over there. They may try and book that thing,
Yeah.
legitimately.
They do, yeah, they do.
They booked Loki versus Kenta double count out. Loki versus Shingo double count out.
But there was one
Loki just refuses the job, bro. Like,
They
they bring
did,
over stars and Loki refuses to lose.
They did Brody King and Jacob Fatu, and they did a 90-second no contest. Like,
What the
got
fuck?
immediately out the ring, brawled, and got thrown out. It was like full 70s wrestling. It was incredible.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you know people traveled for that match, bro. Like there's somebody out there that drove 2 hours for that match. Bro. That's so fucked.
They did Marufuji vs Eddie there last year.
They did,
I did
yes.
not
And they run out of time. The undercard went too long, so they only had 7 minutes left by the time the match started.
Jesus Christ.
That's criminal.
Not that I bought that show or anything. I'm not mad. Not me. I wouldn't be mad. But...
I've only watched one match from House of Glory show, and it was the Briscoes Aussie Open match.
Good man.
Yeah.
It
When
a
was
good match.
When was that?
That
match? 'Cause
was-
I remember it. I remember
That was
October
after-
last year.
Yeah.
It's like October
Bro.
like 26th or something dumb like that.
Since we're talking about House of Glory for a second. Y'all boys, 1, 2, 3, Monty, Chuck, and Joe, y'all boys, Grizzly Young Vex, they went out there and they had like a 30-minute match. And like 15 minutes into the match, they were laying in headlocks. I'm like, what is
Okay.
going on here, bro?
You've accused me of many things on this show, but that was a new low, man. Let's take it easy. My boys, come on.
I'm like,
The
this
Grizzled
is
Young
the first
Veterans.
time I watch him wrestle since like
Oh.
Black and Gold. And I'm like, all right, sometimes I can get spiteful about him. I'm gonna give him a chance. They went out there and did some nonsense, bro. Get these niggas off my fucking television screen.
I haven't
Did
watched
you
any
see-
of their post WWE matches yet.
Did you see the Hero and Kenta tag went 28 minutes? Did you see that? The one at West Coast, 20. Oh, I saw that and nearly fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. 28 minutes.
Dear
My
God.
goodness.
Chris Hero getting back
Good.
in.
They brought up defibrillator for Hero after the match.
Look at this.
Chance of
Always trying
probably
to get his spotlight. House of Glory wanted me to be a consult.
The content I could get out of that, man.
Should have took it up, brother.
Bro,
Jamie Ross has issued his first fine, by the way.
Oh, no.
Sorry to tell you. Jamie Ross.
Jamie's
£5.
boys. Yeah, Jamie's a big
Oh,
500,
no.
500 pounds, Great British pounds, £500 fine for
Oh, it's
AO
even
for
more
the
in
GYV slander.
Jamie, we can talk about this, bro. We can talk about this.
Let's
Work it out.
negotiate. Yeah.
Yeah,
One of
honestly.
them's going to be at the Rev Pro show next Saturday. Which one is it? Zach Gibson? He's wrestling for the world title.
Yeah, it'll be
Beast.
Zach. I hope for your sake, Zach.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Alright. So next up we had a Mariah May promo. She was just kind of being a big fan of Tony Storm, as she does, kind of putting over. She's defending her title tonight, so she was. Not really much to this, was there? Mariah May, not really.
No, it was alright.
Next up, there's some stuff to this. Samoa Joe and MJF versus the Masked Men, the Devil's Masked Men.
Oh,
It didn't
brother.
happen.
What is that? The second or third time that they've advertised the match and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe makes his entrance. We all pop. We get ready to see Samoa Joe in action. I had my towel around my neck, Joe. I was ready. I was ready to see Joe do his thing. But yeah, he gets to the ring. No MJF. The lights go off. The Devil's Masked Ninjas come to. They all come to ringside. They all like surround the ring. The lights are like flashing, I think. And then the lights go off again. And then the Masked Men disappear. And then the Titantron comes on. And MJF is laid out. Someone's hit him with a bottle. And he's laid out backstage. Samoa Joe's like, oh my God, what's happened? and he sprints. Didn't know he could run so fast, but he sprints into the back. And this wasn't Samoa Joe has been involved in some funny horseshit angles during his lifetime, you know. He's had what a career, Joe Hulbert.
All I could think about was, God bless the producer who had to lay this thing out to the big man. You know, so what you're going to do is, the lights are going to flicker, and you're going to just kind of stand there.
Bro, the Russo PTSD flashbacks that Joe must have had
Yeah.
in that moment, bro.
It was great. It was really bad, and also I legitimately felt bad for Montreal because they were really excited to see Joe, and they didn't get Joe. You know, I genuinely like. I always think it's lame when you do the bait and switch deal.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, on a card with this loaded, like, did you even need to advertise that way? You could have just advertised it as a fight, even. You know, it's just I don't know. I always think it's lame when you do that, but thankfully there was other good stuff on the show.
You asked me what happened on the show, what happened with the tag match, and I was like, bro, they did a fucking WWE bait and switch. And then I thought to myself, I was like, yo, you can't even call it a WWE bait and switch anymore because they don't do it anymore, bro. Yeah. Nobody should be doing this shit anymore.
Yeah, it's lame. Yeah,
it's part of MJF's masterful storytelling. So
I just need Joe to win this belt.
Please, bro,
That's all I'm hanging on to. Like,
Joe, please save us.
We all agree on where the belt should end up, and we just discussed him a moment ago, and his upcoming match with Mox, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But the Samoa Joe character has now gone so far down this path. Like, I'm sorry, I'd need him to win this belt. Like, he's protecting Max. Yeah, I just give me something, you know? It's Christmas.
Yeah, just a little, 90 days. You know?
Yeah, I'm not asking. He gave up the TV belt. He's like protecting MJF against fucking ninjas. You know, there's got to be some sort of payoff on that for us as viewers. But either way, it was bad. That's the point. I'm sorry, I've gone off all rails here, but it was very bad.
Yes.
It was quite bad, wasn't it, Charlie?
It was really bad. And the funniest thing about this was they had MJF laid out with the smashed bottle. And it's like, wow, you're really laying this Hangman stuff in thick. Like, I don't know. It's just... God, I cannot wait for World's End, so hopefully this shit will end.
Did you see James Storm popping himself on Twitter?
Oh, yeah. No, I did see that.
I don't know what he said, but he was basically just like, yeah, I did it. Or some shit like that. I was howling when I saw the tweet. I was crying.
Oh.
Yeah, AO. Not the content you want on your Dynamite shows, is it, AO?
Absolutely fucking not. I don't really do this sports entertainment stuff, bro. It's not for me. I tune into my wrestling program to see the wrestlers wrestle. Thought I was going to see the big man Joe. He's been on the tear, bro. I think his AEW run started like, you always happy to see Samoa Joe work, right? But I think the beginning of the AEW run was kind of carried by, oh yeah, Samoa Joe, we love Joe.
Sure.
But now he's legitimately doing like great work, like. For the last like year or so, I'll say. But so I'm excited to see him wrestle for real. And then it's like, no, actually, we're gonna give all the epileptics in the arena a seizure, and then Joe's gonna fight some ninjas, and then we're gonna cut to MJF laying in some sugar glass bottles. This is nonsense, bro. Get us off my television screen. I don't want to see this shit.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. But
he just didn't even get in the ring. Like, they just kind of danced around the outside.
Yeah, like, why did they go? Why did they even?
Like, is this an intimidation
what purpose
tactic?
did they serve?
Joe was in like stance, throwing jabs like he was Larry Holmes. They were on the outside of the ring, and Joe was like,
let me at him.
Head movement.
So
He was
dumb.
Samoa Joe. You know, it's not. It's funny enough. It's not the craziest thing he's ever sold for. So
No,
it's whatever. I genuinely think like we have fun about it, but I bet Tim is just like, oh, that's what I want to do. We'll do it. You know, he does it to the best of his ability. I mean,
he does.
There's only so much you can do in some of these situations, but
His reactions to the lights crack me up every time he has to sell
looks around.
it. It's just so
He can't believe that can go on and off. He can't get his head around it. You know?
So amazed. Oh.
Joe has truly seen it all in his career, bro. From like the pizza Ring of Honor to Vince Russo TNA to like actually not even near, like full blown dementia Vince McMahon. Like,
yeah, and
I don't think any of this stuff phases him anymore, bro. It's just like, all right, bro, let's get this segment done.
I tweeted about this recently. Like, I don't know if it's something that interests him. It probably not, based on the way he generally talks about wrestling. But his book would be incredible for that reason. Like the highs and lows. He's also someone that's been like Ralph has done multiple times. People forget when he left TNA in 2015. They had done such a poor job with him at that point that people were like, he's done. It was 8 years ago. You know, like it's wild. So
people were saying WWE wouldn't even want him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember like there was talk about maybe he'll be in Bullet Club. And it's like, people didn't really care at the time. It's crazy.
Showtime Spurs, that's $2. What if Samoa Joe just really likes ninjas?
He might.
Imagine we find out Joe was cooking all this up, bro. He's like, I just need these ninjas in my story.
It's the only thing he books. He just walks in. Can we get some ninjas in there? Can we?
Good stuff. Well, he wasn't, you know. Okay. Mox and Swerve bump into each other backstage. We kind of already touched on this. Mox cuts a promo. Swerve interrupts him. And they're getting in each other's faces. And, you know, Dallas next week. Swerve versus Mox. Lots to look forward to.
Love it.
Who we got winning this one? I think Mox is going to get the win here. Or do you think we get a draw?
I think we get first draw.
Draw, yeah. Yeah, it feels like the time's going to draw.
And I assume Mox is coming out of this block.
Yes.
So if we draw here, how do we get to Mox having the most points and Swerve not advancing?
Are they doing the block finals? Are they doing block finals or not? Do we know yet?
I assumed they were, but I'm not sure
I think
that's the case anymore.
Because if they are, then the draw would be even better, right? Because it's like you go to that as the block final and neither man's beat the other. That could be that could be strong. I think we're going to get a couple. I do think I don't know if they've taped it yet. See if they have. I may be completely already wrong, but I get the feeling Garcia may take Brody the distance for the other blocks draw also. I think they may, because that could be like a great story, right? The idea of Garcia just surviving to get a point on the board. I think he could pull that off. So, yeah, I think the draw will be a thing that comes into play here down the stretch. But I think this one is the perfect chance for a draw, Mox and Swerve.
I will say, in this backstage segment, I was surprised Swerve didn't bring up the fact that they've both had Texas death matches with Hangman, and he beat him, but Mox didn't. And he beat him the same way that Hangman beat him, essentially.
Maybe
we should be on creative.
Yeah. I'll pitch the idea. I'll make it to TV eventually. I'll tweet about it. That's what usually happens.
Tell me that.
Yeah, man. Swerve, Mox, face to face. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a big extended segment. They just kind of bumped into each other backstage for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was a tease.
Tony Storm versus Sky Blue up next for the AEW Women's title. We got the big introduction by is it Twitter? I don't know this guy.
I have no idea.
I don't know him either, but apparently he's a big deal.
Apparently he's a big deal. At Ben Mank, I believe his Twitter is. You know, seems like he does I don't know, some form of hosting. You know, he's got a very, you know, he's got a good voice for that announcing stuff and shit. You know, he's Anyway, he does this long introduction for Tony Storm, you know, it's part of a shtick, I guess, you know. And, Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. And I have to say that this was probably one of, if not the, because I'm quite forgetful with these things, but at least one of the better timeless Tony Storm performances since she started with that gimmick. Because I've mentioned it before every match because we do a lot of previews on this channel. He's like, I just hope she finds the balance right of doing a shtick where she can kind of still do a gimme. But also, we all know Tony Storm's a good wrestler. We know she is. We've seen her do it recently. So it was very frustrating. Like her most recent matches, the time with Tony Storm, when she was just doing this like the shtick was way too much, and it was like ruining the matches. It was just making them silly and just kind of like
The matches
wrestling
were about the gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah. But today, last night, I think she found a really nice balance, and she had what resembled wrestling match with Sky Blue, and definitely a step in the right direction. Hopefully, she maintains this balance. But yeah, Charlie, what did you think of the women's title match?
I thought it was pretty solid. They put on a pretty good performance last night. Tony pops me. Like, her gimmick in the matches works for me more than like the segments at this point. And the bit with Luther on the outside where she was like on his shoulders and like ran to throw her off the apron, it just pops me. Silly stuff like that. But yeah, I thought, have they wrestled before? They've got to have wrestled before.
Yeah.
They have like 6 women on this roster, so
They've wrestled quite a bit, yeah.
What, Tony and Sky Blue have wrestled a million times.
yeah.
They've wrestled like 4 times this year, haven't they?
I
On
don't think
TV.
it bodes well that I don't remember any of them.
To be fair to you, Charlie, it was different because the hook here, whether it worked or not, is a different question. But the hook was that Sky has, become spooky, I guess.
She's spooky.
Or at least mean. Yeah, kind of mean.
What's like this, bro? Like she's like spooky now, but she's still a baby face, and she's like not with Julia Hart. But like, what is going on here?
Maybe she was just sick of the happy-go-lucky gimmick and needed something to get rid of it. I'm not sure this is the avenue I would have chosen, but all power to
her.
Shivani was like, Shivani goes, I like what this mist has done to Sky.
funny. But yeah, she did alright this match.
Yeah, Joe, Sky Blue looked all right out here. And like I was saying, I think the big takeaway is probably Tony's approach.
Yeah, like the match itself, like, it's a fine match. I don't think any of us are saying it was some match to note for the year-end list or anything. But the more important thing, I think, for where her role she is as the world champion right now, it was an encouraging performance for Tony. And as we've said a million times, ideally you would be figuring this piece out before she wins the belt. That's where we're at. It is what it is. She's doing the best she can with it, and I think this was a clear improvement. She's finding different kind of stylistic quirks that fit the character and feel fitting, right? Because it is such a over-the-top character. You do have to wrestle in a way that matches it. You just do. I mean, it is what it is. And I thought it was encouraging. It's never going to be a character that's like saying I'm totally into, but I must admit, I thought the presentation here was very cool. And I think it's like the biggest thing we've said all along is, whether it's for you or not, you can't argue she is swinging for the fences. And I think it's the kind of deal where if you're into it, you're going to love it. And I think if that's the case, there's always room to kind of like have these things on the show. Whether it should be the world's title or not, probably not, but this division is not in great health. So you get what you get, right? I mean, for what it was, I thought it was encouraging.
Yeah, encouraging signs, AO.
Yeah, this match, when I saw this match announced, I was like, this is going to cause some Twitter discourse when it ends, and it didn't. So that's always a good thing when there's a women's match and there's not a whole bunch of discourse afterwards. I like Tony's gimmick. I just think it got in the way of the matches a lot. But she is finding the balance where it's like she's gonna actually wrestle, and then she'll just pick her spots when she's gonna be like timeless Tony Storm mode or whatever. And it's the gimmick. No matter how we feel about it, like up here. Like the gimmick's really over, not only in the arenas, but like on social media as well. Like people are, so it's not like the MJF thing where it's like, oh, the arenas love it, and then everybody on Twitter is like, this is the worst shit. Like you're literally ruining AEW. Like it's just like both sides of the coin here really like it. It's just, but I don't think anybody thinks these matches are Tony's career best, or anybody's gonna be looking back at Tony Storm's career in 20 years and it's like, oh, I remember that time this Tony Storm match with so-and-so. But, yeah, I hope she keeps finding that balance. It was an encouraging match. Sky Blue, she went out there and did her best.
Encouraging signs.
You really tried your best there, man. You were putting those words together like, how do I do this? I respect it. Good effort.
Yeah, respect. Bull Chisholm, $5. Appreciate you as always. I bet Joe got PTSD from getting kidnapped back in TNA.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
What
I was very
happened to you in
confused.
TNA, Joe?
I got to kidnapped, and I was like, "What? When?" Yeah, good call.
I did Henry Kissinger, $2. Appreciate you. I think Jericho wasn't supposed to be seen in Vietnam. Shake my fucking head.
Oh, fucking crying, bro.
Mason84, 199. Appreciate it. Christian and Kevin Von Erich segment gonna be wild.
Christ.
I just
Gonna get to that, brother.
a few
Gonna
people have
get to
mentioned it. We're gonna get to it. Whole
Gonna get to
segment.
it, mate.
Good, very good,
Yeah, well, I want to deep dive.
beautiful.
Showtime Spurs, $5. Appreciate you as always. Some of y'all just don't understand the motion picture business. Well,
Hey, man.
RJ City is like an expert. You can absolutely tell by the way that some of the stuff they do is like 5% of the audience will get. But God bless. I mean, if you're in that 5%, you're winning, right? So, oh how?
oh hell. Okay, what did we have after the title match? Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, hype, just kind of promo package, getting us ready for the main event in Montreal. And then we had another Gold League match, which was Jay White versus Jay Lethal. And I wasn't really looking forward to this at all, to be honest. Jay Lethal's matches in this tournament have kind of just came and gone, in my opinion. Jay White's had some decent performances as well. But yeah, everyone knows I like watching Jay White work. So, but the crowd, this had a decent bit of heat. It had more heat than I was expecting it to have. The crowd seemed to pop themselves with the fact that both of them are called Jay. Got some different chants going throughout, but I guess that kind of helped the match because it gave it some more heat. And this wasn't, again, like a lot of Lethal's matches in this tournament. It did kind of just come and go. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a nice match. 2 goals and hard to work. What do you think, Joe?
I mean, it was the ultimate 2 solid pros wrestling match. Right?
Yes.
It was the exact match that you imagine they would have in your head to a T, other than, as you mentioned, the J chants where the crowd was popping themselves.
A bit of heat there,
It's like Lethal, he never has bad matches. Like he's always mechanically on point and psychologically it makes sense. He's just if I never saw another one, I wouldn't be devastated. It's and Jay White, who I'm a huge fan of, is not exactly going to be the guy to pull out something more interesting out of him. So it was a fine match. It was pretty good, honestly.
Hold on.
Yes.
Need to pause. We'll revisit this.
All right.
After the title match. Rio came back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Rio, the first ever AEW women. Yeah, the first ever AEW women's champion. Riho.
The real was returned, brother.
Everyone loves Riho. She has so much good faith with the AEW audience. Then
Absolutely.
I think a lot of it as well is we get defensive about her, because she's because of I don't know. For those who don't know better, have seen her wrestle or just don't know better, they just they see her appearance. She's so small, blah blah blah, and they're just throwing insults online, and you don't want to see that, do you? So the AEW fan base usually do a pretty good job of jumping to the defensive whenever this happens. She's very near and dear to the AEW heart,
Yep.
We love Riho. She's a good one. It's happy to see her back, especially coming back straight into the title scene,
Single-handedly
interesting.
defeated NXT.
She did. It's a
Single-handedly.
well-known fact.
Put her foot on Triple H's throat.
I still can't believe they let her burn that NXT flag that time on TV. That was crazy. Andrew, that's wild. I went off the air with that. I'm thrilled to see it. I love Rico, and
Yes.
I'm interested what kind of match she has with the time. We were just talking about Timeless Tony and this character and such. I'm intrigued how she'll work with her. Because I think Riho is someone that she can actually have a really good match with while doing some of the sillier stuff. So I'm pretty hopeful. I'm a big fan.
Should be a good time.
Yeah, Charlie, you're a fan of Riho. I'd imagine
I am. She's an incredible wrestler that I wish was on TV more, because just the division feels 10 times better when she's even just making appearances like this, because you forget that she's even part of it sometimes, which is unfortunate. But her and Tony should have a really good match, and it wouldn't surprise me. Do you reckon this will be the pay-per-view match?
Probably.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope. Because what is it?
It deserves to be the pay-per-view match.
Yeah, it's the end of the month. Let's do an actual program here. Let's get something going here.
Yeah. I can't imagine they're doing the Mariah match with Tony yet, so they need
Yeah, I
someone.
don't know.
Yeah, probably Rio.
Do it with
I
Rihanna.
won't complain. Joe, as you were, did you have anything else you wanted to add to
No.
Jay White,
No.
Jay Lethal?
2 solid pros, knife edge chops, limb work. I've seen the match. I saw it before it happened. I was fully aware of what it was going to look like. It was fun. Good match, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing.
He was asked if he can join. God
No.
bless him.
It's very aggressive. Have you noticed that about him recently?
Look how he's asking as well.
Look at these emojis, bro.
I
Like,
can't
they're
see
so
that.
That's
bad.
my thing. There's been a lot of that recently. Very
They're
aggressive.
so bad.
I'm gonna have to bring up the chat on my phone.
You know what? I don't mind inviting him, but especially for this.
He's a nice
Bring
fella. I
Bring
mean,
him up here. Bring him up here.
he's a good
You are a
guy.
grown
Come on.
man.
Where's my Twitter? Where's my Twitter page? Can't find Twitter.
Here we go, folks. Everyone be nice.
But yeah, before I get to the Von Erichs, what other announcements did you guys vote the most from yesterday's announcements? Because obviously we got the Dallas. Some winter is coming. It's happening in Dallas for the Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Swerve versus Mox, as previously mentioned. We got Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. We got Ruth.
Well, real quick
Jay Lethal.
on Lethal versus White, because I didn't get to speak on it. But bro, I was worried all week when this match was announced, because there was a version of this match where they just leaned on each other for 20 minutes, bro.
Mhm.
Like there's a universe where that happened, and I'm just when they immediately started working with pace, I said, "Oh, thank God, bro, thank God." And in the crowd, there was a lot of heat, which helped a lot. So they didn't.
Finish was nice.
Yeah,
finish was nice with Jay taking up the leg. It was nice.
Lethal's
I
worked
really
hard
enjoyed
in
that
the
match.
tournament. It's just,
Yes.
obviously, as well, the other thing is that people know that he's not going to win these matches because, of course, he's not. Nor should he, right? Like, yeah, he feels like the odd man out in the whole lineup, and that was the way when we reacted live, right? He felt that way. It is what it is.
Yeah,
There needs
man,
to be a
definitely.
loser. So,
But like you said, the announcements. I actually have. Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, so you got winter is coming, obviously. So the one thing I will say is that they didn't do the big winter is coming graphics.
No.
They added some snowflakes on regular Dynamite graphics. What's going on?
What's going on, man? What you cheaping out on us, brother? But yeah, we got Hangman Adam Page versus Roderick Strong in the Continental Classic Gold League match, as I mentioned. So again, Rouge versus Jay Lethal, Jay White versus Mark Briscoe, Swerve versus Mox. So another stacked Dynamite, man. Because you got the Continental Classic matches, and one more just to send it over the top with Hangman and Roddy. So
real. They wrestled in 2014?
And we will also hear from Samoa Joe next week. And yes, the Wrestle in 2014. I watched that match last night. It was a good match, bro. Baby Hangman. He was listed as lighter than Roderick Strong, which was crazy.
That's incredible.
But I really liked it. Like free Bullet Club.
Baby Hangman matches.
Not even Hangman Page. He was just Adam Page.
Yeah.
But, good match.
Him in his early career. It's very funny to go back and watch some of those matches now because he's like in the green trunks with like the fucking Von Dutch trucker hat or whatever it is. He looks very funny.
No one could have predicted what
Absolutely
he became.
No one.
No one.
I remember vividly when he joined Bullet Club and they did the angle where he became Hangman. It was like the general reaction was like, "Who cares? It's Adam Page," And it's like that changed his whole life, and he grew into that role to the point where he was having classic matches. He had a classic match, a month ago. He's match catalog wise, he's one of the all-time AEW guys easily. He's in the very, very top tier.
Story.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was such a Bullet Club whore, bro, that I was like, anyone who joins, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm still a Bullet Club whore, bro. When David Finley took out Jay White, I said, David Finley, I'm gonna give you a chance. But I just thought it was like, I'm gonna give him a chance. I didn't think he'd become, to me, one of the best wrestlers alive. But here we are today in 2023. Fucking Hangman Adam Page, bro. Shit is crazy.
God bless.
Another announcement, the big announcement. One for history, one for the history books. This is very prestigious. The Von Erichs return to Dallas. Kevin, and then he's the two young boys, carrying on the family name,
Look, I saw a lot of AEW fans excited about this. I don't know how much of it was genuine excitement and how much of it was engagement farming. The Von Erich boys, they're the drizzling shits, bro. I'm just gonna fucking say it. They're really bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know. I'm oblivious to this. I'm just happy to see Heritage.
Look, man. Look, I'm glad that they have a chance to promote this movie for their family, though. Good for them. You know, their family's been through a lot. If they can find a place on Honor Club away from me, good for them, bro. I'm not against wrestlers getting paid. Go for it. But if we're gonna have Von Erich, if we're gonna have Von Erich matches on Dynamite, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look north. What are the Creeds doing on Raw tonight?
I just, like I said, I like heritage in my wrestling, you know, and the Von Erich.
I do too, bro. Like when I hear this second generation,
magic,
third
you know?
generation shit, bro, I pop, bro.
Iron Claw's coming out soon, you know. It's big business, you know. This is big business moves. The Iron Claw, Von Erichs are gonna win via the Iron Claw next week. It's gonna be beautiful. You know,
they're gonna beat the Bucks clean. Just go over.
They're gonna set up a title. They're gonna set up a future title match at Wembley with the FTR. You know?
My God.
We're cooking, you know?
They can do that somewhere else.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Look,
Ebro is here. Back up, man.
I think you could argue it's actually like even more awesome that they're bad, to be honest, because they've got this booking just because.
Yeah.
You know, they've only had 10 years or so to get any good, so you got to give them a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I think. Let them, you know, I think Jarrett is going to interrupt them. Which, for anyone who's familiar, I get it, Charlie. I get it, but for anyone familiar with the way those two families interact in history, that will be very funny. I'm not sure Kevin would rock with the Christian gimmick, to be honest, based on... well, he would rock with a Christian gimmick, but not a Christian Cage gimmick, I should say.
Yeah.
I think that may go poorly. He may end up punching Christian in the face, quite frankly. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
People think that's coming up. I don't think.
I'm not
I don't think
sure,
that's
yeah.
happening.
Guys, make sure you...
I don't blame them.
No.
Right, guys, make sure you rush in to see A24's take on the Iron Claw, you know. Beautiful stuff, people. Beautiful stuff, I'm sure.
Bold predictions right now, everybody on the panel. Do you think the movie will be any good? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I do.
100%.
Did you see? I can't remember what awards it was, but they were in the top 10. And if you look at the other films in the top 10, like they're, you know, it was like a serious list. It's
shit!
It seems like it's going to be really
Star-studded cast, brother. You see Charles
Blair
Blair on the red
Yes.
carpet.
Yeah, they got A-listers on the cast. They definitely got
The only
A-listers
criticism
on
I've
the cast.
seen, most of the response critically thus far has been very positive. Which, you know, they're very selective for some of those things. But the only criticism I'm seeing is that the length is like a slight drag, which considering what the film is about, I can see that.
Oh, right.
Beyond that, it's been like super positive beyond that. So
You can't tell a Von Erich story in 90 minutes, bro. So it's like...
right.
Imagine.
It's crazy. This is the first time a real
Well,
story.
it's not even the
returns to
full
a film.
story either, because it
That's the
doesn't.
thing.
Yeah, because they're really young. The one that died really, really, really young. I don't think he's included in it at all. Is it?
It's the first time I can recall that a real story has had to be made less harsh for the sake of generally they make them, you know, they dramatize and make it more. This time they're like, we're gonna have to cut some of these deaths out. This is just it's too much, you know. It's insane. I'm intrigued as to how it comes out. I have to wait a lot longer than over here. It's out in February, which is.
But yeah,
Really?
God bless.
A24. There's always that,
you know?
that kind of delay.
I was gearing up ready to go see it on the 20th of December. I was ready for it to come.
No.
It's brutal.
Hold your
Wow.
horses. Hold your
Luckily,
horses.
it can't really be spoiled, right? So.
Yeah.
Shout out to us real quick, $5. Appreciate it. If we get Zac Efron and the dude from The Bear, it's worth it.
Oh,
I mean,
Jeremy Allen, someone.
Jeremy Allen White, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Back in my day, he was a dude from Shameless.
Yeah.
Breakout role, brother. Ibu, you there or what? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I didn't want to disrupt anybody. You guys are in the middle of a conversation. It would have been very
Talking
rude.
about the Von Erichs, brother. Jump in.
It would have been very rude to just intrude and interrupt. And So I wanted everybody to kind of have their say on what was going on and politely insert myself into the proceedings. So,
Hebrew thoughts on the Von Erich boys?
so people were asking if you're a piece of shit.
I just asked him a question.
Listen, I think here's the rule of thumb, guys. That's why a lot of people going like, I'm not familiar with them. Are they any good? Should AEW sign them? Folks, if wrestlers exist and they have been, and their places of work for most of their career was MLW, and they've wrestled for about a decade, I think you have your answer there. You know what I mean?
Well, hold on now. I think they had a nice little NWA run.
Exactly. Here's the deal, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing, guys. Tony Khan, we've seen it. He will sign anybody. You know what I mean? So if he hadn't signed these two, like this guy put Gravity on his TV for multiple. So I don't know. Look, man, God bless them. It's cool that they get to make the appearance next week. They probably will get a spot appearance on a ROH doing a match. I think I actually could see that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know what else.
Von Erichs versus Team Jarrett.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know what's the unfortunate thing about it, Monty? They have a great look. I actually think their look is like pretty sick.
the Von Erichs.
Exactly. They're in great
They're
shape.
pretty skinny. I don't know who wanted to talk. My favorite tag team of all time is the Young Bucks, but
Exactly.
they have their like flamboyant gear and all that stuff.
To be
the
fair,
Von Erichs they're just like throwback wrestlers, but like they're just like white guys.
they're not just your Young Bucks. They're apparently also my precious Bucks, according to
Oh yeah,
Rando
your
Twitter.
precious Bucks. Bro.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Oh yeah, you both got some like crazy background noise going on, but
What's
he's on mute now, so he's all right. But let's talk about AEW Dynamite still. Like I wanted to do like a little section on the Von Erichs. Shout out to them. God bless the Von Erichs forever and always. Edge. No, sorry people. The Montreal AEW Dynamite main event was Adam Copeland versus
Correct.
Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. And I actually quite liked the majority of this match. There was some parts in the middle where I thought they could have got a little bit more creative, and a bit more exciting, I guess. But overall, I actually quite liked their approach. Christian Cage, of course, is great. Just being a piece of shit. I liked how Edge just like kind of beat the shit out of him at the start because that's kind of what the feud should reflect. And yeah, I really did like it, and I really liked the closing stretch up until the actual finish, which, as everyone I'm sure who is listening already knows, is Shayna Wayne, I believe that's her name, Nick Wayne's mother, comes down to the ring with the TNT title belt, and she's trying her best to look conflicted, but
What a fucking worker! Oh my god!
And she's like, who's she gonna hit? Is she gonna hit Christian? Is she gonna hit Adam Copeland? And she ends up hitting Copeland. Christian Cage then sets up Adam Copeland on top of the belt, stomps on his neck, pins him for the 1, 2, 3, and Christian Cage, and still not the greatest finish. Like I said, it's a shame because like I said, I actually quite liked the match, to be honest, but that ending was wrestle crap, bro. It was
I wouldn't call it wrestle crap.
No, it was really.
It was poorly executed. But if it was executed, I feel like wrestle crap is when it's drawn up and it's just shit.
It was
drawn up. I think it was performed like shit.
Even the idea is just
bro. Could you imagine? Because imagine she sold it well. Imagine she wasn't just staring down Edge the entire time. She stared down Edge so much that it would have been more surprising than if she hit Christian with the belt. But imagine if she actually sold it well, right? She nails this nigga with the belt, and then her and Edge just start making out in the middle of her and Christian just start making out in the middle of the ring. That's wrestling. That's what this industry was built on, bro. That's professional wrestling.
No.
Hey, yo, this was really.
This is wretched, bro.
This was horrible.
Honestly, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. But I wasn't like completely repulsed and disgusted and just like, oh my god. Like I was just like, this is bad, bro. But
it kind of popped me how bad it was.
She like her acting when she's just kind of like, what should I do? And then she does what she does. And the thing is, like, you know, when they do that in wrestling, like with the tease, like there's a certain like cadence and body language to how it goes, you know, that she just didn't do. She's kind of just like,
she didn't do it at all, bro.
She's just like left foot, right foot, left foot, right. It's just like, what's going on? Why is it so nonchalant? What's going on here?
All you have to do is just go out there, grab the belt, stare at Edge. Stare at Christian and nail Edge. That's all you have to do. And
then she does a really bad belt shot. And she makes the like most hilarious, like, I'm bad now face. And it was just like, all right. It's like, okay. Yeah, I thought this was like horrendous. And it's unfortunate because I had a good time with this match. I felt like Joe in the sense that I'm watching this in the middle. And Joe, remember what you said about a recent 6 out of 10 collision that we talked about? Where you're like, sometimes you just want to hang out, you know? Like I feel like I was just hanging out with Copeland and Christian, putting together this nice match that had heat, that had some peaks and valleys and highs and lows and ebbs and flows. I thought they were putting together a really nice match. Personally, I was having. I
really enjoyed the match.
I had no issue with this. What's up?
I think they're saving a lot for a rematch. I don't like. This is obviously not where their story ends.
The thing is, like, I saw that take a lot. Like, oh, they're obviously saving the this for that. They're saving the this. I think like the saving is, so to speak, is like these, like, you know, final battle set piece type things that, like, even just take that away. Like, I just thought this was wrestled totally fine. Like the rematch is gonna have those like epic, like, you know, dramatic facials and big spots and like the spots that end up on
the destroyer on Christian.
Yeah, the spots are gonna end up in clips that AO is gonna post and get like 7,000 likes for. You know what I mean? So like holy shit, Edge just you're like, okay, you know. but yeah, I thought the match was really good, and then that ending was like just horrendous, and then my Hulu feed cuts off the show. Like I didn't even finish Dynamite because his foot is on Edge's neck, and then it just ends, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? And I remembered the fucking Bryan Alvarez Dave Meltzer argument, and I just remembered that AEW is doing overruns now that they don't schedule ahead of time, and like all these like TV service providers aren't aware of this. So I don't know.
Honestly, look, I'm not gonna let you complain about this, bro. You're not 70 like Dave Meltzer. You're not 50 like Bryan Alvarez. I'm not gonna expose how old you actually are, but guess what, everybody? It's kayfabe. Ibu's not actually an old man. The whole fucking angle's on YouTube, bro. Why are you tweeting? Can somebody please explain this? Can somebody please explain what happened to me, guys?
Here's the thing.
Guys,
okay, but here's the thing.
Just log on to YouTube.
Here's the thing.
Just log on to YouTube.
No, it's not my job. Why should I? Why can't they just end their show on time?
So your Twitter followers are supposed to tell you what happens and you can read the tweets?
Why can't they just end their show on time like a professional 2-hour broadcast? Why do they have to go 90 seconds over?
Bro, I like Dynamite when it's good. Why would I not want an extra 8 minutes of it?
No, and then if you're gonna go over,
you know what? I've never in my life heard you complain about an NXT overrun.
You know what the difference is? You know why? No, what the hell? First of all, what? Number one. They schedule their overruns, you idiot, because they know when they're going over 10 minutes. And so the service providers are aware of this. And so I don't lose out on any content. Hulu and YouTube TV and DirecTV aren't aware of AEW's overruns because they don't tell them that they're doing an overrun. So that's my point. With what they have, WBD gives them the leeway to go past 10 p.m. because they have a great relationship, right? And so what Tony's doing is, you know, if he's late a minute or two, he'll just use the time. But he won't schedule it and he won't inform people because he doesn't expect to go over. That's completely different. And so, no, it's not my fault. It's his fault.
All right, you made a lot of good points there. You know what my rebuttal to that is, bro?
You're gonna say cry, aren't you?
Eat a fucking dick, nigga.
No, no, Tony should.
Cry.
Tony should.
Anyway, make sure you
We're all on fire.
You know, make sure you.
Yeah, that's all I want to fight.
What's up?
Make sure you write a letter to someone about it. You know.
I'm going to yell at as many people in that promotion as I can when I get home.
Jonathan Gomez, 199. Fine Ibu for the gravity slander. Absolutely not. Will Chisholm, $5. Appreciate it as always. That ending that felt like Stephanie McMahon turning on Vince when Vince wrestled Triple H back in '99. Those two men worked hard too. I mean,
I don't think I caught that angle.
Shout Spurs $2. Appreciate it. While y'all rehashing the Observer bit, don't blame me, bro.
Look, bro, I get it. It's annoying. Just go on YouTube, though. Like, it's not that big of a deal. The entire segment is on YouTube.
You don't even see it on YouTube.
Yeah,
The whole
exactly.
clip is
Hold on,
over 12.
no, stop. The fuck are we doing? Stop it. You know, stop it. Just stop it. You know. Holbert.
I want to make one.
No, Ibu, you're done.
Right, fine.
Holbert.
Fine.
What did you think of Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland, mate?
I really liked it, Montgomery. I'm glad you asked. Loved the intensity from Big Cope. Matched the build, right? There was some nice deal where he worked the hand, which Christian sold throughout the entire match because he's a real professional wrestler who studies the game inside and out. I thought its issue. I thought they struggled a little bit to bridge the gap from their first act and their third. I think we all agree those two were great. The middle, I just thought they struggled a little bit, and I think that's partly because of I think Copeland still has a lot to offer inside the ropes, but he does struggle to go through the gears a little bit, right? Like he's not got a lot of explosion, and I think that showed in the middle. But generally, I really like the match. The finish, I think AO's point's fair in that, the finish made sense in the story they've told. The question is more, should that have been a story they told, right? Should Edge versus Christian be about Nick Wayne and his mother? I would suggest not, personally. But the big issue beyond that, as we've all said, was the execution. But nonetheless, I really like the match. I think they may get a stipulation on the pay-per-view, right? A ladder makes sense for them, but they just did one of those. Maybe not. Maybe I think a cage match. Honestly, when you've done interference here, I think they'd kill with a cage match. Get some Jews. I'd like to see that. So I really did like the match a lot. Yeah, man. Run the razor, good stuff. I liked it.
It's time to bring back that old Fed stipulation. The chairs match. Chairs, brother.
Concerto.
Yeah, first to hit a concerto wins.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Like, the only TLC matches in AEW are the Escalera de la Muerte matches, right?
Correct. Well, technically, but like there's been ladder matches that have used tables, like the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Like they use a lot of tables in that match.
The reason I
ask TLC match.
The reason I ask is because if that's the direction they go for the rematch, right? If they do a TLC, like what is the name of the stip Edge is going to scream? Like, is he going to go Full Metal Mayhem? Like TNA style or something.
Is TLC copyright?
I think
yeah,
probably.
I think it is.
Copyright everything, bro.
If it's not, and TNA just actually used Full Metal Mayhem, that is incredible.
Just like, Full Metal Mayhem is just so much better.
Bro, our Monsters Ball match is not just like no disqualification.
Well, they have the gimmick with Monsters where you have to. What do? They like, lock you in the room for. That deal they do?
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah. The isolate, yeah.
I feel like they haven't said that in a minute. Have they? Like,
I don't know. I think PCO did it
yeah.
recently, for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Sports style presentation, they call that. Yeah, read about it, bro.
He meant Edge. Christian, I've had enough. Escalera de la Muerte. Like, all right, cool.
I'm trying to say that word.
You know what I want to see? I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the inevitable graphic. Shayna Wayne explains herself.
God. Yeah, we'll hear from Shayna Wayne.
It's like Joe was saying, bro. It's like you've got fucking. It's like AO's right. It's like of course, like Copeland concerto Nick Wayne like last week, but of course, his mum holds some sort of grudge against him, even if Christian Cage is a piece of shit, But it's like, so it makes logical sense, But it's like, is that a story you really should be telling for Christian versus Edge in Montreal in the main event for the TNT Championship? And it's like when you do an angle like that where, it was meant to be a swerve, I'm assuming, even though it makes sense for us to hit Copeland. But anyway, it's like, why are you getting heat on Nick Wayne's mom? Like, why is this someone that we're trying to get over as a heel? Like, what are we doing?
It's a shame because I get why it's not his character. I actually think they could have told a really compelling story with Copeland having to deal with this idea that he actually Christian was better than him for a night in Montreal. Like, the counter he hit with the kill switch. I get why it doesn't suit his character, but that has a finish and Copeland having to cut promos about the idea that the way he perceived it was wrong all along. I think that would be interesting, but they went in this direction and you could kind of see it coming, for better or I think in a lot of our views worse, unfortunately.
Joe, that would have been amazing because the whole part of the premise here is just kind of Christian saying like, bro, I've been better than you all along, and now I'm finally being able to show it. And he's the one who turned down the reunion of the tag team at the start of this whole thing. And so Edge having to face the reality that at least right now he's just not better than his friend, and what does he do with that would have been really cool. But the reason why they went in the direction they went, and I predict this one I talked about Edge coming in AEW, is part of his wrestling brain is these kind of moving parts, smoke and mirrors with the match layouts. And I say that to say, guys, the reason why they're making Shayna Wayne a heel is because Beth Phoenix is 150,000% going to appear in one of these matches, and she's going to spear Shayna Wayne. And it's going to be in the middle of a match. Edge is going to be handcuffed to something or whatever. Nick Wayne and Edge are going to be, and Christian are going to be fucking beating them down, and then she's going to come in and clean house. She's going to spear the boy. She's going to spear the mom, and she's going to take Edge out of these handcuffs, and then he's going to resume his fight with Christian.
That's all it is. I'm all for it. I'm not really trying to see. I like Beth Phoenix, but I'm not really trying to see 2023 Glamazon run. I don't think many other people.
I don't know about a run, but I'm that spot that I just said is 99.9% going to happen. Something along those lines.
Could be good stuff.
It'll get a big pop. It'll get a big pop.
I ran a trademark search
on contract. So
who?
Beth Phoenix, is she not still on a WWE contract, or is that run out?
I have no clue.
Fair.
I mean, we'll see. Anyone got anything else to add to this Christian Cage, Adam Copeland business in the main event last night in Montreal?
Liked most of it.
Interestingly, WWE only just trademarked TLC in 2010. So people could have used it up until then.
Incredible. TNA, God bless them.
TNA just chose not to, bro.
Yeah.
Just fucking chose not to.
But yeah, it's like I said, I thought the actual work that Christian and Edge done. Like I said, I really like the closing stretch, man. The double spear, the reversal the reversal that you mentioned, Joe, where he reverses the spear into a kill switch. That was really nicely done.
You guys are forgetting the real big one, bro. When Christian gets him into the corner and Edge comes out of the corner into the copecution.
Copecution.
I popped huge for the copecution.
That was pretty neat.
That was awesome. I was like, I pumped my fist. I was like, look at these.
That was a really fun match, bro.
I was like, look at these old ass niggas being creative.
It had loads of heat as well because it's what you could tell that's not the crowd. That's what the crowd pretty much came to see, Yeah. So, and you felt that when the main event was starting and done the announcements in the ring and stuff. Like, it had a good vibe to it, man.
Sure.
Bro, how did AEW move 1,600 tickets in a week? By the way,
they just
slashed 3.5K this time last week. They
slashed the ticket prices dramatically. All the $100 seats got dropped to the 20, roughly.
Bro, just get people in the building. You're about to get a $1 billion TV deal. Why are you just trying to get these fucking gates and have the hard cam side completely empty and shit? Bro, just get people in the fucking building, bro. Just get people in the building.
Yeah, it's weird. It's been a weird approach in terms of ticket pricing this year for AEW teams because the ticket sales have not gone up, to put it lightly, but the prices have dramatically gone up as far as I can tell. So
I can tell you what happened. If you guys remember when they were rocking and rolling in 2021, and they were doing great business, a lot of business experts and people that Tony consulted were telling him you're not getting as much as you can out of this. You're selling $6K in some of these buildings. and you're charging these people $25, $30 a pop, you can be making so much more money compared to like what your competition is charging for people. And he essentially subscribed. He basically got on board with that a little too late. You know what I mean? Like he basically was like, you know what, you're right. But he, the change happened when they got colder. So that's kind of how it went.
Bro, these houses are peanuts compared to the TV deal money.
Yeah, I agree. What makes it rougher also is because I talked to someone in the company about like, why don't you guys just unbook yourself in these venues and run smaller venues? And they were like, there's like a load in and load out price and fees that they have to pay. There's fines that they have to pay. And I was asking like, okay, so how long are you like booked for these like basketball arenas? And they told me, guys, till like the end of next year.
Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Meltzer also touched on it that this was by far AEW's most profitable year as a company. So I don't know, man. Guess TK kind of knows what he's doing.
We'll choose him $4. Appreciate you as always. What do y'all think is the end game for Nick Wayne and his mom? I think Ibu just obviously this was sent earlier, but
Christian and Nick Wayne live sex. Nick Wayne's mom's live sex celebration.
Say not Nick, because that's
no, not Nick. I mean, it's 2023.
Yeah, but that's still, Nick's like 19, man. He's...
Not even.
I don't want to see any of this.
That was like 15 seconds of insane audio. Went in different directions. And
I will say, it wouldn't be good at all. But like, how do you guys react if like Shayna Wayne and Christian were doing Edge and Lita adjacent content on television?
I pop huge, bro.
From the presentation style, like I'm walking.
I pop huge.
It'd be pretty bad, but
Would it be bad?
I'd laugh for the first segment. I got to be honest, it is what it is.
I mean, yeah, it'd be that's we've said this a few times. Wrestling is a very happy medium in the sense of that, like when it's bad, it's usually very funny. So it's like, I'd find it hilarious if any of those things. Well,
some of those things. Yeah.
It would be very bad still, very bad but very funny. But yeah, AEW Dynamite, decent episode, but it definitely did have some low points. As we mentioned, it had more ninja stuff. It had Nick Wayne's mom. It had, but it had some good wrestling. It had Swerve and
Mark Briscoe, you bastard.
No, because I get mixed up because I've got all the. I was about to say Marks because that's what I've got for the segment when no one went face to face. We had Swerve versus Ma. We had that Hangman MJF Samoa Joe business that everyone got excited about. Tony Storm seems to be putting it together, and it was a good show, brother. It was a good show. It was a good show. We're doing ratings out of 10.
Are we? I don't know. Do you want me to do a rating out of 10? Is that what you're requesting of me? So
out of 10, I'll give it a. Let me see.
I'll give it a 7.
I give it a strong 7.5.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The flaws on the show stop me from rating it higher, but if I'm being honest in terms of my actual experience watching it, they did not affect my experience that much, honestly.
Yeah.
And the MJF thing actually fell into I thought was actually funny. So,
The thing about the objectively bad parts of the show, at least it was very it wasn't on screen for very long.
Right.
Like it wasn't a 20-minute MJF Ninja Devil promo nonsense thing that we've had in the past. Like it was 2 minutes in and out. It's just like, all right, bro, I didn't like that a lot, but at least it's off my TV screen.
Yeah. The tournament is helping a ton because it gives the TV it gives it a floor, right? It gives it like a safety net. How bad can these episodes be when you're getting 3 good wrestling matches every week? When you sprinkle in other matches of Copeland and Christian's caliber, or I know on Saturday we've got a Kenny Omega match to go on. So it really helps the TV. So yeah, I really enjoyed the show, honestly.
Yeah, so you give it a 7. I think I'm probably there with you. Anyone going higher or lower than a 7?
No, I thought it was a 7 as well. But I gotta say, I didn't get to speak on this because this is when I was still, stealing the white man's money on the clock and listening to you guys. But man, how about that goddamn fucking Samoa Joe angle, man, with MJF? That thing was a hell of an angle, wasn't it? Like that was fucking.
Go fuck yourself, piece of shit. It was the nerve, the absolute nerve. Just
that was so good, you know.
Yeah.
There was like mood lighting, you know, like it was that rock.
Well, I was telling the podcast, like, you asked me how the match went, and I was like, bro, they did a WWE bait and switch. There wasn't a fucking match. He was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, because guys, I'm at work, right? And like when I'm at work when Dynamite's going on, like I'm not like, oh my god, did this match reach its ceiling? Like I'm not doing that nerd shit, right? Like what I actually did, I'm at work and all I could think about is how did they execute Max and Joe versus the Ninjas? Like how did that look? You know, or did they keep their masks on and just did moves? And if they did moves, did they have to hide like what they normally do as moves? Because would that not make it obvious who it is? And so I'm like, hey yo, what happened? How did it go? And he's like, it didn't. And I'm like, no. I was like, what the hell?
I would just let the WrestlePurists Galaxy know, bro. Before MJF injured his hip and shoulder, they were just gonna wrestle Masked Ninjas, bro, for the ROH tag titles, bro. Like,
yeah.
They were just gonna wrestle these Masked Ninjas. For the
Here's the deal,
titles.
guys. You are gonna get the match against the Ninjas. You're gonna get the match.
Oh no!
You guys are gonna get the match against the Ninjas at World's End, and
Wow, how lucky of us.
do not report this WrestlePurists Galaxy. If you do, I will never give you a scoop again. But I'll tell you this. Here's the funny part.
Alex in here as we speak.
Yeah, you know, right? Popular Twitter user Ibu of WrestlePurists. God. Popular Twitter, formerly known as X user. It's like, I always read that. I'm like, God damn it. But no, I was gonna say, what would be funnier, guys? Like if Max and Joe versus the Ninjas, like they just have a straight up like match. It goes 20 minutes. And it's like a barn. It's like 4 1/4 in the ninja outfits. Like it's just tremendous.
Strong style.
They're doing like all kinds of crazy combinations. You get this.
One of the masked men gets colored. They like blade themselves through.
or it's like it's just like comically all-time wrestle crap, like in the, you know, like what's funnier?
Can't we find like a healthy middle ground here, bro? Can we not can I just do like 6 minutes and just get out of the way? You know, like does it have to be one or the other? I mean, I feel
they're gonna do a couple minutes. Like,
So I think it's safe to assume that this ROH tag title run's ending at World's End. So what's everybody's highlights of this run? What are your favorite moments from the Brochacho's ROH tag title run?
I feel like we need to.
I had a spot for that. So.
yeah, that was messed up.
Joe needs to be recognized as one of the. It needs to be like Freebird rule, right? He's defended this thing more than Adam Cole has. He's done it once, right? They won each at this point. Like, that's
Did
my
Adam
main
Cole even
concern.
defend them?
In Chicago, they did, right?
They had the FTR match. Wait, was that on? No. That was the
No.
AEW World Tag Team
The Ring of
titles.
Honor
That
one was the one in
that
Chicago.
was the Ring of
Remember
Honor.
Silver and Reynolds one?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
brother.
That was it. That was the one. Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Maybe
remember it.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that wasn't really a necessary part of the story.
I
to be
knew
honest.
that's what you were going to say. You're such a Sorry. I was reacting.
To be clear, that was not in reference to what I just said.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
People are being spiteful.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway.
Mm.
Ayo. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Nonetheless.
You know what I want? I want the Ninjas to win the belts and not reveal themselves and be backstage with Renee Paquette doing an interview. You know?
What is
Like
this
a
recent trend
With
of
Sammy
you
Guevara's
hosting-
whiteboard or something? Do an
What
interview
is
now.
Oh.
I said, with Sammy Guevara's whiteboard or something, how would they do an interview?
Wait, can you guys? Oh, he said, how would they do the? Yeah, could you?
Yeah, because we
Renee's like, so are you guys gonna defend these belts? Like, and they're just like, we will find the way to do what we need to do for the
gotta
belt.
talk to one of those smoker things that the people with the holes in their necks put
They
up to
need
their necks and
we need that.
stuff.
We need
Like Kane.
Hey yo, we need like a voice changer that they speak through. You know, like it's just like Samoa Joe.
We don't need any of this, and I'm quite concerned about this recent trend Ibu's been on of just wanting bad things to happen on his
Watching
wrestling show.
AEW be terrible, bro.
It's really weird.
Double agent.
It's really weird. You know,
He's drone through and through. Can't escape it.
the allegations.
I will completely admit this. I spoke to a member of their creative about this ninja thing, and I did encourage some of this ninja.
You're so
No,
a piece of shit.
Super chats. I'm walking down the path of no return on 99. Appreciate it. Who are your top 5 aces of all time, in your opinion? That's a tough one.
Objectively?
Tanner, Steve,
Flair.
Flair and Ace. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah,
He had the NWA on his back, brother.
yeah. I think at the height of Crockett, Flair would be the ace. Dusty would say he was the ace, but I think it's Flair.
Dusty was, and that's a weird one for me. Genuinely, on the
Flair was
both
the guy
sides
that
of it.
he was steering the ship, having the best matches, right? I think he's the ace.
I think I have the answer here, folks. I'll give you my subjective 5 favorite. Okay. I'm doing my favorite. Boom. Stinger.
Wait, no, fuck you, bro. I'm finishing. All right. We said Tana. We said Steve. Dusty and Flair are toss-up. Misawa. Who's the last one? Fucking.
I'd have Funk in mind.
Ricky Dozan. No, I don't fucking know. No, I'll say Okada. Okada led the Bushi.
Who's that getting some love here on the pod?
Carrying the flag. All that.
Oh my God!
Go ahead.
AO reminded me that Eddie Kingston in the pre-show of an AEW pay-per-view screamed Ricky Dozan at the heavens. And
Misawa. Oh man, in the top 5, it's a long night. You know,
Ace Steel was pretty good.
He was, man. You know, that guy was tremendous. Oh my God, Carl. You know. I was just talking to Joe about Carl the other day, and I'm not afraid to admit I rewatched the Machine Gun the other night. I felt great, you know.
That's a pretty regular occurrence, to be honest. We talked about Carl Anderson a little bit, yeah.
What happens is, you know, me and Joe wake up some days and we're just not having that great of a mental day, you know what I mean? And then you just start talking about Carl Anderson, and it's like, you know, like
genuinely embarrassing how true that is what you just said. Like deeply troubling.
Bro, I forget who the other name was, bro, but I said your family's life on the line and the other wrestlers' life on the line. Somebody has to have a 4.5-star match with Finn Balor, and if they fail, your family's gone and that wrestler's family is gone. So they're gonna really go for it. And I said, one was Carl Anderson. Who was the other wrestler again?
It was Carmelo Hayes, is what you asked.
I said, who are you picking? It's clearly Carl Anderson.
And I was like to save my life, Carl Anderson.
Yeah. You said I got Iguodala, right? That was one of those deals.
I got Iguodala.
That was absolutely one of those deals.
One shot, fate of the universe.
Yeah.
Curry or Iguodala.
Machine gun Iguodala.
You need 4.5 stars against Finn Balor. Who you going?
That is a full podcast one day, but nonetheless.
Here's my answer, bro.
Yes.
The motherfucking Stinger.
1,
Steve Austin.
2,
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
3,
Keiji Muto.
4.
Big Match John.
Oh, brother.
Big Match John. I know that's going to upset 3 people on this panel, but, you know.
Oh, brother.
I'm going with John, man. I'm going with John. You know?
Yeah, I'm not particularly. I think every name that we've mentioned is a fair shout, really, to be honest. Yeah. Cody Rhodes.
Christian on 2009 ECW.
Listen to me, guys. You know, people chuckled at that Cody mention, but he's going to have a sensational year next year.
Oh yeah, I think
Bro.
he'll probably get Wrestler of the Year next year.
Crazy take, brother.
He'll probably win Wrestler of the Year.
Hey guys, Cody will do great things with the belt. Like
all of us here are big Cody fans, even though some of us get spiteful at times.
Charlie hates Cody.
Well, who hates Cody?
I said Charlie
I
doesn't like
do.
Cody.
I don't like Cody.
I
don't like Cody since, like 2018. I respect him. I respect him as a wrestler and what he does for the business. I just can't fucking stand the guy.
I love Cody, bro. I can never hate him. I tried to hate him. It didn't work. I tried so hard to hate Cody Rhodes, bro. I couldn't do it. I love Cody. But what was I saying? Oh, do you think his run at the top is going to last as long as this whole Tribal Chief saga? You think he's got 4 years in him doing this?
No, of course. Bro, come on. You know.
That's a tough bar to meet. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to be WWE champ for 4 years. Right. Of course not. Nobody's doing that again. But I'm saying it's just like as the guy.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
Cody's biggest issue will be that he'll want to make all the towns, and that will wear on him physically.
Yeah.
Even with them trimming house shows, he's going to be working. When he gets that belt, he's not going to be phoning in those matches. You know, like he's going to be going. So that's, believe it or not, folks, Roman Reigns.
He romanticizes making the towns, bro.
He does that Brett and Flair and stuff. But you know, not to break any news here, but Roman has not quite approached his reign that way. So I think that'll be different. You know,
definitely.
Roman's hilarious, bro.
What a beast! Incredible.
Yeah.
No, what a beast, bro. Like.
He won, bro.
You have to respect him.
He won the game, yeah.
He won. Completed it, you know?
I do think he's going to be the top guy for at least 4 years, actually.
Yeah. Roman's about to go into like his 8th Mania main event. It's his 4th one in a row where he's defending the same belt in the same reign. It's like...
I need Roman to go over one more time, bro. Just one more time. If the guy wrestling just give me this, I'll never ask for anything ever again. Ever.
I was just talking to AO about this last night. Like, what if, like, the night before Mania 40, he just looks at Triple H and he's itching and he's just like, what if I just beat him again, you know? Like, what if I just... Like...
I need somebody to sneak into Roman's ear that he can't lose to the AEW guy. Like, you just can't do it, Roman.
Paul Heyman looking at Triple H going, have I failed you before?
Look, man, that Bloodline trial popped what, like 3 million on the quarter?
3 million.
Like 2 quarters, bro. Like you gotta keep going with this. It's not your time yet, brother.
Heyman's like, I got a couple other Anawais to look into.
Anyway, Showtime Spurs $5. Appreciate it. They definitely gave Silver and Reynolds that match because they pulled Dark Order off All In. See, you talking about the bro chat trolls? Nancy Reagan, $2. Ibu, you still coming over after work?
I'm just not going to entertain that.
So yes.
We'll choose on $5. Appreciate it. I would love to see how AEW fans would react to Roman joining AEW.
I would have
that would be insane.
That would be
because if you're joining AEW, I would assume that you're interested in working and you're not just going to grab a hold and talk to the camera.
No, I think maybe you'd look at Tony Khan as easy money. I don't know. Man.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna milk this mark for another $6 million. But
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he'd be getting
16.
16. No, but I was always a fan of the big dog. Like I always thought Roman could work. He just chooses not to anym's So it's like I'm not really trying to see. I'm not trying to see
Roman's awesome.
matches.
Roman's a beast, man. He's the man. He's the man in professional wrestling. He has been for like fucking 3 years now. So,
no, the big dog was one of my favorite bell-to-bell horses for a little bit, bro. Can't lie.
I can deal with those Tribal Chief matches, brother. The Jey Uso match was very unfortunate, though.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was loving it. I was loving it.
What was the fast for
It's
him.
reveling, isn't it?
I was prevalent. I saw Bloodline stands on the timeline crying. Oh yes, I need more.
Just refreshing over and over. Like, finally.
That was
All
a
right,
summer.
Yeah.
let's get into a few news tidbits. We'll start with this Bryan Danielson one. So everyone knows at this point, I'd assume, especially the people watching this, that Bryan Danielson is part of the AEW disciplinary committee. He's also been part as well, according to Fightful Select, of handing out fines. And Sean Ross Sapp touched on this a little bit more on one of his podcasts earlier this week, saying that he thinks talent will stop complaining so much on Twitter because Bryan Danielson will now be fining them based on social media conduct. I know about at least 1 or 2 people who have been fined by him already. So, social media conduct it's going to be something that AEW is seemingly keeping an eye on now. 1 or 2 people already picking up fines. No idea who they are, but I don't know.
Well,
I do.
you probably have a good guess, you know.
Go ahead and drop those names in the private chat.
But yeah, man, everyone, the past 48 hours, everyone's been kind of making guesses, making jokes about who's been getting fines, who could be getting fines, who might get fines in the future, etc., etc., etc. So, Bryan Danielson, laying down the law, Joe Hulbert.
It's like one of those things you go, yeah, it makes sense, but God, it's funny. The idea of like Danielson making a call to one of these fellas. Andrade, we're going to need you to not tweet pictures of CM Punk after his debut for WWE, you know? Like, the tone of these conversations is the most entertaining part to kind of ponder for me. But I mean, look, we've all talked a million times about how the AEW talent can be kind of crazy online. So I'm not surprised. I assume Tony is part of this too, which would be very funny. Because in that case, I think he owes a few $1 million. But nonetheless, it's probably necessary. Dragon is, I'm sure he's thrilled all of this stuff is public information, right? I'm sure he's really delighted. It's great. It makes sense.
Yeah, that behavior online is embarrassing, quite frankly. And it's different when like WWE wrestlers do it, right? Because like WWE wrestlers do it, people talk about it for like 2 hours. Whatever, nobody really cares. But everything that happens in AEW is like just the biggest scandal to ever occur. So it's like it's a different level of like microscope. So it's just like just stop being a dickhead online, bro. It's
because any little mundane thing that happens internally kind of gets out. That's kind of why. You know what I'm really mad about, guys? I'm mad that by the time that I found out that this was public information, the joke already died, and I couldn't even make any good meme posts because like all the lame people already killed the joke. You know what I mean? Like I come back and already everyone's like, I hope the base Danielson gonna fuck.
That shit's already old, yeah.
It's like go fuck yourself, you know? Like I can't. I had so much good stuff cooked up, Joe. I was at work like coming up with shit. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna find some cops videos and shit, you know? Like I'm gonna. You know?
Bro, somebody photoshopped Dax in front of a foreclosed home, and I was crying laughing.
Bro, you know what I had cooked up, bro? I screen recorded the Titantron for Big Evil Undertaker, you know? And I had so much like it's Danielson coming in, you've done it now. Oh man, it was gonna be great. I get on the app, I scroll every tweet's about this shit. All bad memes. 90% of it's not funny, and I'm like, "Fuck you, wrestling Twitter! Like you just fucking ruined it." So I don't have any real opinion about this fining policy because it's not my money. I don't give a fuck. Any company can come up with whatever policy they want. My only take is that it's pretty funny that it's Danielson.
Yeah, apparently he's been seen as what was it? An objective moral compass or some bullshit was the language used.
They do see him as that because apparently on various conflicts he's kind of going like, I could see that side of thinking for a lot of things in the company.
Feels like the kind of gig he's going to do for 3 months and just be like, get someone else to do this shit. I want to throw chops with Andrade, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure it's that he's going to enjoy it, to be honest.
I do have some mild news tidbits about it. This is not this whole stop being a dickhead on Twitter or we'll find you, and Danielson's the one to do it. It came out this week, but this was figured out right after Punk got fired. There was a big meeting after Punk got fired, and it was basically like, stop mentioning Phil, cut the bullshit, stop being dumb on Twitter, do not tweet about Phil, don't make bad tweets in general, and if you do, we'll find you, and please stop being an idiot. And then, like, if you guys remember, immediately Andrade was like, at CM Punk, and it's like him and CM Punk with the fist.
He's so awesome. I'm sorry.
I would not be surprised if he set that up to put in his drafts at the meeting, like on his phone. Like he's just sitting there, like, it's like, okay, and he just,
He does what he wants, Andrade. He just does what he wants. Speaking of Andrade, we've got another news tidbit from Dave Meltzer. If any of you have been on Twitter recently and saw the video that CMLL posted recently of they didn't show the face, but a lot of people are guessing that it's, it was like a hype video of someone who's coming into the promotion, and 99.9% people assume that it's going to be Andrade because it looks like Andrade from behind, But yeah, in addition to this, Dave Meltzer reported that he, talking about Andrade, thinks that his AEW deal is up pretty soon, so he wanted to go back to CMLL in case he ends up going to WWE. He's not made a decision on what he's doing next yet. He's not signed a new deal, but if he does go back to WWE, he knows he can't go back to Arena Mexico with CMLL. So it seems like Andrade is taking some precautions just in case he does go back to WWE in the next, year or so, or whenever. Apparently he thinks his contract is up soon, which is hilarious because, he's had a lot of injury time, so Tony Khan could absolutely probably tack a lot of that on. Interesting.
Wrestlers don't know when their contracts are up. They just don't. Even people that don't have injury time, like they'll think their deal's coming up, and then the company will be like, "No, you have another year on your deal." I don't know how this happens. I don't know why these people don't have attorneys. I don't know why they don't have managers. I don't fucking know, bro. But I very highly doubt Andrade's deal is coming up.
I have one thing to say real quick because I got to bow out because I got to get back to working for the man. So number one, in AEW specifically, like they don't like asking overtly and inquiring about it because typically when they do that, they will remind their bosses to add injury time onto their deals. So they just don't. They just kind of hope for the best, which is incredible. And then the number two thing is, listen, Ayo, you are allegedly the biggest CMLL fan in WrestlePurists.
Yes, this is true. Many people said this.
You are the CMLL expert, right? So before I get out of here, are you jacked and ready to see Andrade El Idolo throw chops with Místico in Arena Mexico, sir?
Well, I need to speak with Andrade and see where his head is at before I allow him to return to CMLL. I don't appreciate his behavior these past couple of months. I don't like him being a Punk merchant. I don't like his constant crying, bro. I don't like it. So once me and him talk, I'll let you know if he's allowed back in Mexico.
I hear that, man. Good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'll be back for the backstage because I have some real funny information for all of you.
No.
That's some very funny information for all of you. But thank you guys for having me. Hope I didn't derail things too much. And yeah, man, WrestlePurists, the GOATs, all-star lineup here today. Good stuff. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, bro.
Yeah, Andrade, interesting character as we were just talking about. Going back to CMLL, seems like it's, he's taking measures, Charlie, you looking forward to seeing Andrade versus Místico?
Yeah, it should be cool. I don't watch a whole lot of CMLL, but what I have watched seems like they've had a great year. Andrade, if he wants to go back and do something cool there, more power to him. I hope he gets to do it. And he gets to do whatever he wants to do before he goes back to WWE, if that's what he ends up doing. Yeah. I don't like seeing wrestlers and companies are unhappy in because it just means that they don't want to do work and everyone suffers for it. So if he wants to go back to WWE, then I hope he enjoys it.
Well, Triple H was a pretty big fan of him when he was booking him, so he probably has that sort of, you know, he's probably got that line of thinking, you know, because his
Mhm.
AEW run has been booked pretty weirdly, and he has had his injuries as well. So like, that's been weird in terms of how it's affected his run. He hasn't had the run that I think his fans have wanted him to have, and I don't think he's had the run that I think he wants him to have. I don't think he's had the run that I think Tony Khan wanted him to have, you know.
For sure.
So it's like it's been a really weird relationship, and I still think Andrade is like a tremendous wrestler. So hopefully he can kind of get something a bit more stable going in the next 12 months, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, big fan of Andrade. Hope he figures it out and he finds out for sure when his contract actually runs out, you know.
I actually asked the real WrestlePurist lucha expert, Don't Got Live Zone Parker, how often somebody leaves AAA and goes to CMLL, and he's like, it never happens, like ever.
Wow.
So this is pretty big news, like even outside of American wrestling. So it's interesting. We'll see if more people jump ship. Roosh has recently quit AAA. Dralistico has recently quit AAA. People are jumping ship, brother. We'll see if they join Andrade in Arena, Mexico.
Yeah, some movement. Kyle O'Reilly, according to Sean Ross Sapp, Kyle O'Reilly has been backstage at AEW recently, and he's looking like he could be returning to programming after a period of it looking quite unlikely, which of course is excellent news. I believe he had double fusion surgery like a year ago. You know, he's been out over a year ago. He's been out for a while, and he was on a great run up until the injury / surgery. So hopefully he's back soon. You know, a lot of people are hoping he's involved in this devil shit, but you know, obviously the link to Adam Cole, I guess you can kind of make some logical sense out of it. Roderick Strong's involved. You know, I don't know about that particularly, but I would be very, very happy to see him back on TV. You know,
Absolutely.
100%.
Thrilled for him. It looked real scary there for a moment, right? Like even beyond wrestling, just for his health. So I'm super happy for him. As you mentioned, it was pretty clear in his short, like kind of run there in AEW. I think he was around for like 6 months before he went down with the injury. It was pretty clear what Tony thought of him, and which made it even more of a bummer the way things were. So hopefully, you know, that will kind of pick up in that regard. Yeah.
I was asking people in AEW when's Kyle O'Reilly going to be back in like August, September, and they were like, maybe never. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like routine neck fusion. Not that neck fusion is anything small, but you know, people get it. They come back like Trent. Trent recently got neck fusion surgery. Like people, you know, modern medicine.
If I remember correctly, he had like it might have even been 3 different parts of his neck fuse. Like he suffered really badly with it.
I think it was his C3 and C4, I think.
The wildest part is that it's like there's nothing that we can even really point to where it's like, oh my god, like Kyle just got fucked. Like the Big E situation. Like there was no Big E situation. Like you just like one day, like we were just like, yo, Kyle hasn't been on TV in a month. And then like a couple weeks later, everybody was like, yeah, he got neck surgery.
I think he's one of those cases of a guy who he just got used to wrestling in pain, you know?
Yeah.
And he just, because if you remember in his AEW run, he would always be like taped up. And I think he's one of those dudes that he doesn't realize how tough he is, and he's just out there wrestling that way, you know? And yeah, it's wild, man. I mean, I'm super happy for him that he's going to be able to get back in there because it's very apparent. I mean, all of the guys love what they do, obviously, but if you've ever watched Kyle O'Reilly wrestle, it's very apparent how much joy he takes in actually wrestling, right? Getting in there and wrestling. So I'm super happy.
He's a very real wrestler. Different in the way that people like Roddy are real wrestlers, but he's still very real what he does.
And they're a great team too.
Oh, they are.
The O'Reilly Roddy team is like their chemistry together was incredible. That if that is a thing they go back to, that will be a game changer for sure for the team.
No, we need to do. Call up Bobby Fish and get the whole band back together, bro.
No.
It's time for one last one.
No.
All right, so he had a problem with his C5 vertebrae. Kyle O'Reilly did. So I don't know if he got it fused to his C4 or his C6, but the higher the number is, the better usually. With things like this, I think Big E's fusion was like a C1 and C2. Like he could have died, bro. You know, that was right up at the top of his neck. But obviously, Kyle O'Reilly, you don't want any sort of net fusion, you know. So, you know, he looks like he's getting better though. So hopefully, he just gets featured again and we get to see him in the ring again soon because we're all a fan.
He's on Instagram lifting heavy ass weight, bro. Heavy
Yeah,
ass weight.
like-
So.
The training he started posting recently, he looks good. He looks like he's in the shape. So
Yeah, I didn't put this on the notes, but speaking of fusion surgery, Braun Strowman, he had some fusion surgery as well recently. He did an interview and he said that he's been cleared by doctors to be able to start lifting weights again. So he's on the road to recovery as well. Yeah, not a few of these fusions. Bro, I love Braun Strowman. You know this.
We're
all,
so
but,
back.
you know,
We're so
I love-
I'm
Big
not a
fan
Braun
of Braun
Strowman guy. The I'm not finished with you, Eric. That stuff did pop me. I'm not really a Braun Strowman guy. I think his social media antics just like got to me, whatever. But you never want to see him with his career end. And he was getting really over before he got taken off TV.
Yeah,
like he was getting really, really over again.
he's 23.
It's a shame the timing there.
His year was like quietly awesome when he went down with that injury. He had like the Gunter match and some of this tag stuff with Ricochet. And it was one of those things that no one was really talking about because he kind of just slotted back in, right? But like as you mean, he was really a nice run. Of all of the big returns, probably not necessarily for some of those returns, but it was the guys that Triple H brought back. He was one of the guys who was most like, he immediately was a useful piece of TV. So
yeah,
it'd be good to have him back, I think.
Big fan of Braun Strowman, big fan of Kyle O'Reilly. Seems like they are recovering from some pretty serious surgery, net fusion, not fun. Hope it's something I'll never have to deal with. You know, I don't really take the bumps for it. You know, but you know, Joe, you do a lot of dates. You know, so
I do. Yeah, I don't want to show off back kind of thing. You know, but you know, personally, I work differently. You know me, money. I'm not really a bump guy. You know, I'm selling. It's different. You know, the guys, they do their best. Here's what it is. Good luck to them.
you know. I'm trying to think. Shawn Michaels did a media call earlier. The main notes I remember seeing was the Wesley injury, of course, which is like brutal. He's going to be out for like 8 to 12 months. He needs back surgery. That's another surgery.
Fuck, man.
He was on a killer run. Was anybody watching week to week? Was there like any bump there that everybody's like, "Oh, Wesley's fucked"?
Shawn Michaels said on the media call, because this is what I was about to say. Shawn Michaels on the media call was like, this was like last minute. You know, I think he said it was an injury that he'd been dealing with for a while, but obviously he wrestled last week.
Yeah,
so it's like, I don't know if it was a cumulative thing or if it was if he got into an accident during the week. I don't know, but yeah, they didn't know until last minute, and they were just like, yeah, Dragon Lee, of course, he's running NXT. It wasn't like a full run in NXT, so he was the perfect person to face Dom as a replacement. Blah 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 blah. He spoke about CM Punk. He said it was an easy business decision for everyone. He said that Joe, did you see the quote where Shaw was like, me and CM Punk looked at business the same way?
I saw that. And I saw, what did he say? He was like, you know, Punk, he ended his terms, his own terms. I think he said he ended his run with he ended it on his own terms. True. Yeah, I guess so, if you really want to look at it that way. Shawn is... I will say this, whenever I see clips, I'm not a huge Shawn Michaels fan, but I am quite struck by how like honest he appears to be in these media. He seems like he will pretty much answer your question, right? Which is not often the case with those. Like the thing where he kind of boldly just says we're the best TV show is an incredible thing that I think is not discussed enough. Like he'll just sit there and be like, yeah, man, better show than all these other shows.
We got the variety, brother.
Yeah, I don't watch, so I have no opinion on that, but it pops me. I kind of like the way he approaches those calls.
Is it true, Monty? Is NXT the best out of the three?
Is NXT the best 2-hour show on TV? No. No, I don't think it is. No.
Is it
I do enjoy it though. I do enjoy it, and it probably has the most variety in the sense of what Shawn Michaels is talking about. So
I like the way he said it.
I understand the argument, because if you're into,
you gotta say regardless, you gotta go to bat for your guys.
That's the thing, right?
So you're going back for yourself as well, not just your guys.
And that's the way he described it. He was like, we'll put our guys up against anyone. It's like, yeah, man, I like that attitude. That pops me. Even I don't watch it, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, there wasn't really a lot in the Shawn Michaels media call, just those two little notes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else interesting that's happened over the past 24 hours.
Carmelo Hayes versus Brian Pillman Jr. this Saturday. I'll be there.
That's very unfortunate.
I'm dialed in, brother. I'm dialed in. Sean, I'm there.
Will Chisholm, $5. Appreciate it. The way the leader of the House of Black acts on TV sometimes like he's ready to go back to the Fed. Yeah, everyone's been saying
it's really transparent.
Everyone's been saying it. Heard this a million times, brother. Yeah, man. I guess that's us. Let's wrap it up. Everyone, make sure you please like the video. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for the super chats. We always appreciate those. Always. Appreciate everyone who has been tapped in the past couple of days. Me and Ibu done a breakdown of the men's breakout tournament, which done surprisingly well. That was a lot of fun. And obviously today we've done the AEW Dynamite review. Yesterday, AO and Rob hosted the Twitch watch along for Dynamite. We keep it busy over here, so make sure you keep an eye on the WrestlePurists page. You'll be kept up to date with all the times we're going to go live on YouTube and Twitch. And one last time, please like, subscribe. Appreciate all the super chats. And we'll probably see you again tomorrow for a watch along, or maybe an Unpurist. I don't know.
We'll do something.
We'll see. But again, we're
trying to cook up a end of the year awards show for y'all. Tell y'all our picks while we're picking them. I'm not sure if that's going to be an Imperious thing, but me and Ebu, or if Joe wants to join.
We want to do
they did the mid-year awards with us, but
yeah, man, we want to do probably Sunday would be a good day for it. But we'll look at all the nominees. We'll get a few of us and we'll do kind of
yeah, I like it.
We'll go over the nominees because we just announced the nominees for the WrestlePurists Awards. Actually, that's the last plug. Go vote. WrestlePurists.com.
Yes.
WrestlePurists Awards 2023. Very quick to vote. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do any bullshit. You just gotta, submit your answers to the poll. Yeah, man. So get around to it. We've already had over 3,000 people vote, and we still got just under a month to go. So let's try to get to 10. Okay, this time for real now. One last time. Like, subscribe, and keep an eye on the WrestlePurists page, and we'll catch you again probably tomorrow. Peace.